coming back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We decided to dance and fell in love, but we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun?
We don't have to last forever. It could just be tonight. We don't have to be together. It could just be tonight. It could just be tonight. We don't have to last forever. It could just be tonight. We don't have to be together. It could just be tonight. It could just be.
Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We decided to dance and fell in love, but we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun?
Welcome back, VDC. We are here with 808 Seraphim versus GR Grizzlies Mauler in the semifinals of playoffs in the Apprentice League. I'm joined here by my co-caster Snoopy, and I am Tricky. How are you feeling today?
Hi guys, my name is Anupi. I am very excited here today to see our fellow Apprentice players battle it out for grand finals against KC. This bracket has not turned out the way anybody I think expected it to, but this is definitely the most wide sought out performance on the top half of the bracket. I am really excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, kind of leveraging this against the really unexpected, I guess, Cinderella run that KC's been having. A team that maybe wasn't really even expected to be in playoffs, and then winning upset after upset after upset, to make it to that grand final spot. Maulers will have to have a small upset of this 3-1 win here to make it to grand finals. But I mean, both these teams, the difference between 4 and 1 is a lot smaller than something between 10 and what was it, 10 and 2 over that upset, which is a fantastic play for them. So I'm very excited to see how this game's going to turn out and how it'll result in what comes next.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I think we are ready to look at the stats here for the teams. We've got 808 Angels here. And looking at these guys, they have had a very strong showing all season. I will say I don't believe they ever dropped below maybe spot number 3 or 4. And that does show in their stats. They do not have their player that was there for most of the season in Hushu. But their Cyan Auxiliary has been just as good, if not better. He dropped, I believe it was 30 and 9 on one of the maps in their last map. It was nuts. I would love to see that kind of performance out of Eggsy again. He was my preseason teammate. Love that guy. But looking at all these people here, I don't even see somebody who's super stand out. This is a very well-rounded team that's hopefully going to show us a great performance tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, something about 808s that you really have to recognize and kind of look at the exact statistics here. Last game, Auxiliary dropped 50 kills over the entirety of the set there, which ended up being a 2-0. So over 2 games, Auxiliary was able to drop 50, which is a crazy stand-up performance. I want to kind of point out that a player like Miko also has a crazy high cast. I believe the statistics are showing me that had the highest cast in Season 9 at 89. So, all these players are shooters. All these players are able to have, stand-out performances in their own right. And I'm very excited to see how this kind of really well-rounded shooting team does against more of a cerebral team in Grizzlies with some really good players here. So if we bring that over to Grizzlies, we see, the standout players. You see Sandy, who's been having an amazing, amazing performance this side, but you also got to recognize the players like Krazen and Dobus, who had an amazing game last time in the previous playoff game, and that was fantastic performance for them. So I'm very, very excited to see how these two teams come to heads.
Me as well. I will say in my heart, Grizzlies is the favorite. I'm a big fan of Sandy. I'm looking forward to seeing what both of these teams do tonight. And both teams look incredibly strong on paper. So it should be a good one. We can go ahead and move on to map bans now. And I did not do a ton of research on these teams going into it, but I will say I know that 808 is very good at Lotus, and I know that Grizzlies was very good at Pearl, which is no longer in the pool, unfortunately. So it's going to be interesting to see the split pick out of Grizzlies. And then Summit, we've seen a lot of Summit in the playoff run. A lot of people seem to have really dove right in on this and really taken that one by the head and wanting to show it off. And then obviously Lotus being the decider is wonderful. I do believe that my Apprentice team lost to both of these teams on Lotus. So should be good, strong showing out of these guys.
Yeah, I do want to point out both these teams have a kind of positive win rate on Lotus. Obviously with 808s having a very strong 6-2 performance on Lotus over the course of the season. But I do want to point out both of these teams have only one recorded game on Summit this season. GR down 0-1 and 808 up 1-0. So, I mean, I'm very curious as exactly how the teams are going to play this out. And then I believe, the first map being split, 808 actually are 3-0 on that map, while a team like Grizzlies is only 2-2. So, I mean, both these teams have a pretty good idea how to play these maps, but Split is a little bit less common. Something like Lotus, like Ascent, of course, those maps got banned. Ascent got banned, rather. So, I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see the strategies they pull out, especially when we get to Summit. But for now, we're going to be looking at Split. So, we are going to see as we kind of potentially load into our first beginning of the game as the team's kind of ready up here.
Should be exciting to see how these two people do. It looks like they are ready to go. I know I'm ready to go. Tricky, who are you favoring tonight? Anybody? Let's get a caster curse going.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, I like Grizzlies a lot, mostly because I got the chance to interact with all these guys. I was able to interact with these players, especially when I almost got drafted to them, and then unfortunately went over to Meow for the season. But I had a great time interacting with those guys. They were a great community of teams. But I also have a whole lot of respect for 808, and the way they play is so very aggressive, and it's very fun to watch. So I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'd love to say this is a Grizzlies show here, but it really could go either way. So I'm kind of cheering on for the best Valorant of my life here to see.
Let it be known that Tricky did in fact say, unfortunately, he went to Meow. As we're looking at the lock-in here, though, nobody's doing anything silly. I hate this out of both of them. I want both of them to lose now. I would love to have seen a 5-man mix roulette, but unfortunately, we're looking at if Eggsy and Zoopals can figure out which one of them is playing the Waylay, it looks like we're playing pretty similar things back and forth here. Besides the lack of an initiator as of right now, we've got double smokes on both sides with the Viper and the Omen, which is pretty typical. And we actually do have one scan, one flash. So big difference there. Sandy is on their classic Phoenix.
Yes.
Very exciting.
This is, you know, a very standard Grizzlies comp, right? We're intentionally going without a Sentinel and instead having Viper play that kind of Sentinel role, which is interesting because No Hands, who's typically on the Sentinel, is on our Omen, and, you know, Krazen, who usually plays Smokes, is on the Viper. So, I mean, you know, very similar roles, but just a little bit different, and, you know, that lack of Sentinel is going to open up some opportunities on the side of 808, so I'm curious how they're going to try and take advantage of that. We've got 2 duelists on the side of Grizzlies to get a little bit more aggressive here, although they're starting on defense. So it could be a little bit weird, especially considering that split is a very, very defensive sided map.
That is true, but we have seen more pro play recent times where with the Senti nerfs, I mean, this map doesn't always look so defender sided. Then again, I've casted a game where they went up 9-3 on defender and won out 13-3. So
that's true.
Anything could happen. I will say the addition of the double smoke and the Senti is going to be very helpful for these guys on their defense as they start off. So
yeah, I mean, already I'm loving the observer angles. This is amazing.
Shout out Tony Ma for the observing here today.
So, I mean, as we kind of load in here, we're seeing a bit more of an aggressive, or maybe like an A-stacked play here. It looks like we've got No Hens ready to throw the blind up in heaven. We're seeing a bit more, or not No Hens, excuse me. Chickens in throwing this blind here, but maybe backing out into a little bit here. So, as we kind of load in here, we're seeing the standard A-slam here. I wonder how Grizzly's going to respond with that B-sided stack here.
Don't miss me too much.
We will see that they actually really expected a B push. 4 people are currently pushing out of B and mid, which is quite the opposite of what 808's trying to do here. First contact is already going to go down. Wow.
Get straight up by Krazen. Great play from those two. The Vipers are going to have blows here. Unfortunately, the fact that you have these double smokes means that they're going to run into issues here. We see No Hands trying to get a pick, but Krazen takes down Auxiliary here out of this smoke here. So now puts it into a 4v3 situation. The spike goes down the A site, looking for ready for this 4v3 retake here. Krazen a little bit lower than maybe you'd want, but all 3 of them are on site waiting for something to happen, trying to lock something down here. Miko holding this corner here. Chickens in, tucked behind screen on site here on the map. They kind of start exiting out of the main site here. Miko gets the kill on a Krazen. Zoopals gets the kill on Shady B. Papadobas gets another one on the Zoopals. Gets traded out by Chickens in what was an Omen situation. Looking for the blind, throws the smoke out. Can Chickens in clutch this round for the team? No Hens taps the bomb, gets sprayed out a little bit. No fear, halves it out, taps a little bit, gets the headshot from the wall. Killed on a Chickens in. A little bit of an Omen diff there.
Sure was. Props to No Hands for sticking that half, even though, I mean, I wouldn't have personally. Chickens in was just spraying at him with the ghost. That was crazy. That was quite a bloodshed. Like I said, they had 5 people pretty much maybe the Omen way back on A, just like postured toward B. They walked out. That was a great round of Valorant. Both teams were just doing the opposite thing, and then they walked in a circle until they found each other. Beautiful work out of both of them, just closing that round out.
Yeah, I mean, that was great play. Very disciplined, very smart about waiting so we're ready to go here. Looking for a bit more of an anti-aggressive play here, expecting them to look for this eco mid play. Papadobas strikes again. Raising gets another one traded before by Auxiliary here. Sandy looking to flash mid here. Flashes out. Unable to find anybody, but Auxiliary very low. Gets blinded out by the sky. Tries to run away. Into another kill from Krazen here. Krazen with the Phantom putting in great work here. The smoke goes up. Sandy trying to look for maybe a bit more of an aggressive play here. Here's a couple gunshots here. Another smoke comes up. We're in Inception here. Seeing if maybe we can see something through this little tiny gap in the smoke here. Not quite. These two trying to get as much as they can out of this last situation here, seeing how it looks from the perspective of 808 here, trying to get as many picks as they can on their safe here. They may know where Sandy is. They get the headshot, not quite enough. Great try from Sky there. See if we can get something out here. It looks like they know exactly where Chickenson is postured to take this fight. They see the gun from Crazen. Swings. Crazen with the 3K.
Crazen is looking great these first 2 rounds. Good Phantom buy. It got its value, and it seems they may have done some research, although I would say that mid, when you have no money, is very typical on Split. They were absolutely just ready for that and worked perfectly. Sandy got themselves in a really good little off angle, and that worked absolutely wonderfully. They only lost 1 gun, and that is on their smokes. Should be fine. And we move into a full buy for the side of 808, where the shields are a little wonky because of the semi-pistol force.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing that A push again. Following the eye. Great ping from Shady B here. Trying to get out of here. We're seeing this classic A push that 808 did in the very first round. Trying to take this A main space, get a little bit up into ramp here, see how much they can take. But Acu potentially could find a pick on the Crazy here. Looks like we may have gotten timing here. Is Acu able to find one? Yes, he is. Able to find another? Yes, he is. Amazing play from Acu there. That could turn the tides of this round, especially towards 808. He gets the slow. Chivalry gets that trade on the Dobas here with a second on the Shady B entering site. Now very, very low. But unfortunately, I mean, this round is basically all but over unless Nohens can pull something crazy out of a hat, right? I mean, you know, this probably looks to be a safe.
Where is Wanderer going? I guess that, yeah, just playing exits. That makes sense. He's got that Phantom. Don't really blame him. Although they should have money to buy next round. So, I don't know.
Maybe get an op onto someone's hands potentially? I'm not quite sure.
I think the interesting thing to note there is that the Sky is coming in handy for 808s on this map. 2 of them got dinked and just did not matter because they have a Sky. Just heal him back up. IQ, really good picks in mid. Didn't matter that he got dinked. Just heal him back up and move on.
Yeah, that was really well executed by them. I mean, you know, it looks like all 5 might live here unless Zoopals
no.
spots him. Really, really good awareness from the team here. Seeing if they can try and get this pick on the Nohens here. How many can Nohens get before passing? None.
Honestly, can't ask for much more. It was their bonus. If I were them, I would have taken their pistol strategy, though. They should have just grouped, I think. I think that may have gotten them a little more value than what they saw there. But they showed a strong pistol. They showed a strong buy. I can see it. Now they've got 10 Vandals and Phantoms. And Crazen is actually only 2 off of that Viper Pit, which should be great for them on defense.
Yeah, I was going to point out, Crazen getting those kills on the Eco, that 3K in the second round, is kind of super vital for them. Having that Viper Spit is going to be a really strong asset. The Flash Nade could be catching on top of the Waylay pullback, but not quite where we wanted here. But I love the idea from Grizzlies here. Getting the pick, gets one, standing gets traded out, a 3v3 situation. Excellent trades by both teams. I mean, that was well played. I mean, I got to wonder, though, is it okay to trade down like this, especially if you're on defense? Crazen taking that fight. IQ taking the fight against Nohens here. Looking for this B main play. Backing out. Like you said, that Sky coming in really, really handy here, especially if we take some minor pieces of damage. How can we use it to heal back up and retake a fight from a different angle that may be more vital to us? Crazen and Nohens looking up B main here, trying to take some more space, recognizing that they're kind of in a 2v3 situation with Shady B all the way over on the A site. We've seen the Skydog clear all of heaven and basically all of the site. You know, they could be sitting somewhere, but they instead opts to go towards the A site. They might maybe suspect that Shady B is sitting somewhere. You know, they're making a lot of noise on these ropes. So Shady B definitely knows they're coming, pre-firing and looking towards this angle here. Opts to sit back in, elbow here deep.
This is a good
Can we find the pick?
Oh
no, the flash comes out, unable to turn it. Jumps around.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that is very tough from Shady B there. I mean, it happens, right? Unfortunate timing, unfortunate whiff. It happens to the best of us. And now we see Crazen and Nohens getting absolutely called out immediately. The Cypher trip and these two Lettuce coming here from the Sky ult. Gonna make it happen. You see, we see Miko sitting here in the smoke. Could get timing here. They absolutely are able to get this spray down. And Zoopals
what a great crunch out of 808. I think you have to look at tab and say there is a Cypher. I don't think that we can flank. That sucks. It is what it is, but I mean, you were gonna get spotted out there. Unfortunately, you were not gonna be able to do that sneakily. It is good that they got the sky ult out. I will say, getting the sky ult out is great. I am so sad that did not work out for Shady B. He repositioned perfectly to get the bomb pick. So sad. It is what it is. But we move on.
Yeah.
2-2.
Yeah, you do gotta shake off stuff like that. I do like the fact that it looks like Grizzlies is leaning towards more of a mid aggression play here. Maybe trying to get this pick on AQ. Or IQ rather, and they see, they spot the Viper here across the map. We see both duelists positioned towards mid for maybe more aggressive play. Maybe taking what you said into mind, understanding that we need to play a little bit more aggressive and grouped up with these pistols in our hands on a lower buy. We kind of see 808's really testing the waters, looking for little pieces that they can exploit here, playing a little bit slower. And I really like that from them, trying to recognize that we don't want to give up too many guns. Crazen gets a pick on the enemy Viper here, gets traded out. Sandy goes down. Crazen with an amazing wallbang headshot on the Miko. That is a really good pick. Without that Cypher, you're free to lurk and go flank as much as you like. That's going to really help these guys out because now we see 3 of them grouping up. They can go wherever they want.
They got 2 guns in their hands and 2 deagles. I mean, anything is possible at this point. We do have the Waylay ult, though. I'm curious to see if that comes out due to the disadvantage.
Yeah, especially if we see and hear as many steps as we do from the side of Grizzlies. The Molly comes down, actually seems to tag onto Auxiliary there. So, I mean, this is a great play. We're entering onto the site here. The ping goes down, shot out by Auxiliary. The Waylay ult coming out exactly like you said it with Crazen. But actually, No Hands is able to get pick Crazen and, whoa, Chickens and Auxiliary able to get one. No Hands fires back, but Zupals puts a stop to it.
I think they really had that round in their hands if they just sped up. They made a lot of noise anyway, so they just had to get there a little quicker. What a great showing that we are seeing tonight again from Crazen. Not to mention Eggsy, who's also doing wonderfully. That's my goat. But we do have a Viper Pit now. I'm imagining we're going to use that to try and level out the rounds here and hold down that mid where 808 really seems to want to prod. Even if it's not always 3 people, it's usually at least 1.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Usually you see Vipers tend to put their pit on top of the site to try and really, hold it down so they can't really plant the bomb there without a significant worry, or pressure coming out of that Viper pit. But, I do see this mid play here. If Chickensin is able to pick off this Viper somehow with a timing of some sort, this would be round winning for the side of 808, really. But decides and opts to not really risk it. That's a bit of a scary situation you're putting yourself in. Sandy, I'm peeking this corner. Really looking for something here. Spots the Cypher. Sees a couple shots. The high-low coming out. Auxiliary could get spotted out here. Yes, they do. Zupals goes up blind. Are we able to see something happen? But on the other side of the map, AQ gets shut out by Sandy.
Oh, no.
And Miko gets the trade out here with a really useful Cypher ult here. This is kind of going to give them the information they need to know here. But Zupals fires back onto Shady B. What a crazy timing from them. But No Hands strikes back onto Miko. And now we're in a 3v2 situation. We have 2 ults on the side of Grizzlies.
Great thing about this team and about both teams, really, the game, is that everything is getting traded out very nicely and no one's really getting caught with their pants down. We are seeing some very good Valorant, which is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these teams are playing really disciplined. It's really good to see, instead of the typical run it down and fight like your life depends on it teams, we're seeing a lot of disciplined, calculated plays coming out of both these teams. We're seeing Chickens in. And low on time here, trying to make this out here. Goes for the safe plant. Smart play by them. Papa, Dobis comes out with the ultimate. And Crazen fires back. Great retake by them. The use of ult is definitely warranted. You really want that round.
On both sides, great discipline. That actually, I don't know how much 808 you've watched, Tricky, but I've watched quite a bit of 808. This is not how they typically play.
Really?
Honestly, props to them for getting some discipline. We typically see a lot more flashy, sort of run it down style play from them. Granted, I have not seen them play on Split, so that just could be how they play Split. I think Split's a very defaulty map anyway. But they are really, really sticking to their pack. Whoever's IGLing them right now is doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, I mean, the IGLs for 808 are going to be Miko and Zupal. So, I mean, these two are really playing this to perfection here. Auxiliary gets a little bit of information there, enough to maybe know that Shady B is definitely on the A site, maybe not information on Dobus though. So we see these two leaning towards the A site. We're going to see No Hens actually ult over to A to get a little bit more info, even though the Raze boombot was already there, which is interesting, but we are going to see Krazen get smoked off here in vents as three players look up, but Krazen was for timing here, not quite committing to it, a little bit scary through the wall there. If the crowd was in real life, you'd hear them scream a little bit there. That is terrifying. 808 starts to lurk up here, going through the smoke potentially here, gets caught up by Krazen. Krazen is one, traded out by Miko. JDB finds on the Zoo Palace here. Auxiliary right there with him. The blind turns it. Papadopoulos fires one. Unable to find the second one, but gets pinched down. Miko gets the pick on a Shady B. Auxiliary gets the pick on the Dobus. What a good timing from Sandy. With the ult, it was so good. Almost able to get one there. They don't know that Miko is still stuck there, but the blind comes out anyways. Saber chip goes up. They know they're coming there. Miko trying to stall for as much time as we can here. Getting the peak double swing here. Sandy drags it out. Sandy gets the headshot wallbang here and to bring it to a 2v2 situation. This is looking good for GRR if they can just secure a pick onto somebody here. But Auxiliary going towards heaven, able to find his rotate here while Chicken's in, TP's into elbow. They're playing them like fools right now. Sandy gets on the bomb while the smoke comes up in the one way. No one's able to get one. Auxiliary gets second. Auxiliary gets the third on the Sandy with a spray down.
I believe that Wanderer almost saw that. I think he turned at the last second. They would have known that he was heaven. That is great. Again, they're just, everybody's getting traded out. Everybody is, it doesn't matter if somebody dies, because there is somebody right there to trade them out. Beautiful out of Exy, by the way. That was awesome. I am just, it was like an inch from, I think, from Wanderer actually seeing that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
really even.
Yeah, I do want to point out, Grizzlies is really kind of sticking to their guns on this play here, while 808s is trying to run down the B side here with 4 and Cypher on the lurk. I mean, we're seeing Raze and Fade every round on A main. We're seeing 808s really mix it up and throw these defaults here. The blind comes out back site while Auxiliary dashed onto site here, unable to find any information. But Sandy gets gunned down by Auxiliary in heaven here while the Sky heals up any minor damage that may have done to the team. Sky landing in the default spot here. So a little bit of spam comes from CP, a little bit of spam comes from heaven. Of course, Grizzlies on their default, like really low buy here. So kind of looking scary, but Dobus aware of the flank here, unable to secure the pick, but he was ready for it, which is good. If he had a gun, I'm sure we would have seen something different there. But Auxiliary, amazing slow, able to find 2 on it. And Chicken's in finishes off that round with a kill on the Krazen. I mean, they're looking so dominant here on attack. Like you said at the beginning of this, when we were talking earlier.
He is currently securing his 3.0 KD. If he keeps it up, we could see another 30 bomb. Yeah. And he does have that ult back up, ready to go. I will say, though, they do have the Fate ult. I'm hoping to see some retake this round on the side of Grizzlies. They are very disciplined. I believe that that is their strong suit from what we've seen here so far. Really just have to find a way to not let that mid-aggression get too up in their faces, it seems. That is the difference maker these rounds.
Yeah, it really looks like we're seeing, you know, kind of this standard, you know, we're pushing towards the site, we're sticking to it, we have somebody on the lurk. If we're not doing that, we're slamming a site with all 5 with a auxiliary ult, as we've seen here. Dashing on the site, running on the site. Here comes that flashy play like you were talking about. Chicken's in. Only a really nice angle actually there. Opting to teleport the site just to get some of that space taken care of. But now, in a 5v4 retake, are they aware of the missing Viper? Do they know that IQ is missing mid? The Fatal comes out just like you said for that retake here. Finds onto the Sky here, I believe only the Sky. But the Sky ult is going to come out here and get some information on where some people are here. The retake comes out. Sandy running an elbow here. Pulls out the flashbang. Unfortunately, Papadopoulos gets the trade. Supals finds the trade back onto it, but Shady B trades and trades and trades and trades, and suddenly it is now a 1v2 situation. Let's scratch that. It's a 2v0 situation. 808 takes that round.
I don't even know what just happened.
Yeah, I mean,
so much util went out, and like everybody just trade. Oh look, we're in a 2v3. Okay,
oh, look,
it's rounds over. The Viper, honestly, I don't even know if they found out that she lurked. I don't think it mattered that round, which is crazy because it could have been an insane disruptor. But they got ahead of the Viper, and then they seemingly lost their ones. We're back on an eco for the side of Grizzlies now.
It's kind of concerning me how much Grizzlies is really not switching up their defensive play here. We've seen almost every round Raze and Fade on this, you lean towards the A side. Viper almost every round mid, and we see, you know, Sandy and Omen sitting towards the mid side. Here we get a little bit of information from Krazen here, or IQ is trying to figure out exactly what 808's plan is for this round. 808 is doing a really good job of playing around tempo here. We're attacking fast. These with some rounds. We're ulting, we're Utah bombing, we're blowing up the site with a, you know, Wele ults, Omen TBs, this, that, and the other thing. And then this round we're playing really slow and defensive.
Edzy is so far up right now.
Scary on the side
Just
of both
waiting for
teams. Trying to figure
somebody
out
to
something.
find
Dobas could get
something.
caught out here.
And there it
Yeah.
is. And
That
they
was a
have
really
that
good
mid
pinch.
control.
That was a really good pinch. I like the way they're playing. It almost kind of gave me, you know, visions of the way you might play on the defense. But actually, IQ gets the pick on the Crazy, and that's really big. I mean, even though this is a save round, having that Viper down is pretty strong.
Sure is, and it almost looks like they are not looking to do anything. Because this was not a save round. They forced.
They did?
They sure did.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't think they're gonna do anything with these guns now that that
I guess they're
happened.
just saving it
I
then,
hope to
right?
see a timeout here from these guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they need a pacing reset. I think they need to talk about what's going on because the defaults are pretty much the same every round. I'm hoping to see some adjustment with the save. If not, though, they have double duelists. I have full faith in them getting just as many attack rounds as 808 is right now. Split is the round of quad overtime, and these teams are both strong. Despite what the scoreline looks like right now, every round has been so back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you talked about, right? This is maybe leaning towards a bit more of an attacker side in modern, you know, contemporary Valorant. So, you know, like you said, I'd like to see a timeout, but it doesn't look like we're going to quite get one. However, looks like they may have not needed it. We're just going to see a straight up change, right? We're maybe taking aggressive space here. We're looking to, you know, get aggressive with Sandy and Dobas here with the Fade Eye over the wall. But actually, it's almost like 808 read their minds. They were all stacked up towards A side and then ran away. It's like they're watching a stream.
All right, who left the delay off?
Who left the delay off?
Tripwire destroyed.
Wow. That
Still the
was
mid, though. Still the
crazy
mid.
play.
There's 3 people walking up mid here. And
This is a
Crazen
crazy play
about
by
to get
808.
shot in the
Able to
back,
catch Crazen
unfortunate.
off guard like that, changing their concept off a dime. No-hands in a sticky situation here.
Ooh.
Auxiliary able to find that pick onto the no-hands there. I mean, it's just tough. This is just tough. It looks like 808 is super dominant this round. They're playing super well. And, you know, to my understanding, Grizzlies isn't as comfortable on Summit. So this could be potentially really dangerous. Nobis gets the swing. Gets the pick onto Auxiliary. That could be potentially round winning here. Especially if Viper isn't going to choose the ult here. Miko waiting for this perfect timing here. Swings. Gets that pick onto Dobas. And now Sandy in a tough situation with Chickens in that corner. It's just so hard to clear out them with not enough util, with not enough guns. It's just a tough spot to be in.
Last round before the switch.
We see the last round coming in here, and it does look like the buy is going to be all right on the side of Grizzlies, which I was a little worried about. I'm just hoping that they use everything in their power this last round to understand that the mid is what's causing all the issues. We have to look at mid. If the A fight isn't getting anything, which it didn't, it looks like actually they're going to try to push out B, though, which I don't mind that either, because they will find the mid eventually if they do that.
Yes. If
We
it
shall
could be
see.
really big to get this pick on the Zoop House here, you know, maybe with the raise ults, maybe understand what's going on. If they're able to raise ult on the Zoop House and hold that bomb down, Grizzlies has been able to pretty well play on defense and hold space down, so it's a good chance they could win this round. But unfortunately, backing out, not choosing to get too aggressive here. Looking through this mid smoke here, IQ and Auxiliary potentially waiting for somebody to get a little greedy here, trying to pick something off. But Crazen and Shady B recognizing that's a little bit scary. You don't want to get over aggressive here. 3 people walking amid IQ, Auxiliary, and Miko. The Omen blind barely missing.
Oh, the
but
Omen blind
right out,
misses.
Crazen and Shady B are able to
Oh.
win the round almost single-handedly off of that. But now Papadopoulos gets mollied off by his teammate. And unfortunately, wow, that is an insane play out of that. That Omen blind missed by millimeters.
That is crazy. But that's exactly what I was hoping Grizzlies would do. They held a cross mid. They knew that there was going to be 1, if not 3. I don't think there's any other
Wow.
number.
Spike down.
Wow, that is very interesting.
Wow.
I mean, Zupal is going to have to pull off a miracle here to try this shot. Gets one. Miracle could start. We see the ults come out here. Knows where they all are. Seeking them out at the moment. Trying to find something. Found one on the A site. Essentially trying to get a pick on this Viper here. Could be winning the round here. Unknown situation. Timing, they hear the sound. Crazen gets sprayed down to 30 HP, but now there are 4 members of Grizzlies just sitting on the A site waiting for things to happen. And unfortunately, too little too late from Zoo Palace, ending the half in 4-8 situation.
Honestly, I could have seen that going his way if he did not make those steps behind the Viper Pit. I don't think that they knew he was that far scaled into sight yet. But regardless, the exact adjustment that I've been wanting out of Grizzlies, that was a beautiful round. It was a little lucky that the Omen Blind missed, but that was the first round we've actually seen them have multiple people hold mid and stay there. So, great round. I'm excited to see the half switch here.
In the past, Grizzlies has been really aggressive in mid, kind of like you were talking about. They sent Sandy to push up in a tough spot, and then they were able to pick them off. 808's just kind of waiting for them to do something. We saw 2 members of 808 just sitting in the smoke, waiting for someone to get over aggressive. And Grizzlies said, no, we're going to hold our space. We're going to listen to a Snoopy from the stream call and just make these adjustments.
Yeah, it would appear that both teams are tuned into the Valorant Draft Circuit stream, so that's wonderful news.
That is wonderful news, and you should be following too. We see 808's pushing, or Grizzlies rather, pushing up here in the B main here. Cypher with a bit more of a kill setup. Not exactly looking for exactly, but the one way, able to find nothing out of it, and gets pinged on sight. The blind coming out. Sandy and Dobus both going out of sight. Sandy unfortunately is taken down, but Dobus gets the trade. This is looking pretty good so far. Maybe, oh my goodness, Dobus is maybe cheating. Check the PC here. That is a interesting shot. Zupal's getting forced off the angle, and Dobus with a 3K to start off the half.
Oh my god.
We're cheating!
Okay, we're all just cheating.
So both teams are cheating with wall hacks here at the moment. Okay. I mean, Dobus gets a kill through the smoke, and Auxiliary decided it's time for my turn to toggle. So, I mean, we got the kill through the wall. Now we're getting killed through the smoke. Only this high-low here, Crossfire. There's no way you're peeking this without getting hit here. Yeah, Auxiliary goes down, and Nohans gets the second, and that's going to be that round win for Grizzlies.
That was beautiful.
Excellently played by them.
No commentary. They ran straight through that Cypher site. They did not care. That was beautiful.
That was excellently played. Even though the one-way happened, it looked like Cypher got a little bit scared by the aggression there on the side of Grizzlies and backed off.
We'll see. It's okay. But going into the bye for Grizzlies, excited to see them apparently barrel roll down A. That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a definitely tough situation. I mean, on the side of Grizzlies, you have to be concerned here, but Auxiliary, thank God we have Dobus on the side of Grizzlies to save Crazy out of that situation. And now Miko and IQ are running down on this flank here, trying to get something happened. And I mean, this is scary here. I mean, really making something happen here. Shady B gets that pick on the chickens, and Miko fires back on the Crazy with this flank here. Sandy gets taken down by Miko with some really, really well-placed classic shots. Now it's a 2v2 situation. This could be a really good win here. Shady B able to find one in the 1v1 situation. No hands. Fires back.
That was way too dangerous. Way too dangerous. The flip side, we have these guys flanking. They don't have a Senti to protect them like 808 does. That's something that we have to be aware of. And that was so dangerous. I'm glad that Grizzlies could shake that out with their bye.
Yeah.
Also, though, 2 of their people saved. They've got a full bye here. They really probably honestly predicted that to go a little shaky. They just wanted to be on even guns now. So we're looking at pretty decent bye from both teams.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. We're seeing this 4-man mid push. We're actually just leaving this, or maybe 3-man mid push. We're actually leaving the spike just sitting outside of B main and a cubby here. So, I mean, Sandy leading the charge, Dobus right behind them. And, this could be a little bit scary. Finding out that there's somebody sitting in vents, the smoke goes down. But unfortunately, IQ is smoked off. Actually, I want to point out Krazen on the other side of the map while IQ goes down. And, unfortunately, unable to find that Omen pick. IQ is really low at this point in time. Or not IQ, I'm sorry. Krazen is very low at this point in time. And, I mean, it's a little scary, right? We see Dobus come out with the ult here. Gets the pick on Amiko. Shut down that Cypher hold here. As we see 2 members of 808 try and retake the site with Outlaws through really tight compressed angles here. Now entering this longer space where they have time to move. Auxiliary trying to make a repeat of what happened 2 rounds ago through this wall here on Nubox, trying to make something happen. Auxiliary looking for some more picks here. Drops down out of heaven. Sees some shots here. Sandy gets put down after getting a kill on Chickens in here. Picks up the Phantom, looking for some more action. Goes a slow back site, looking for this one way. Gets the slows, gets one.
Nice.
And Krazen strikes back.
And they used that weird mid-buy that could have gone pretty wrong to convert the next round. So Good on them. We're looking from 4-8 to 7-8 now. Grizzly is doing exactly what you would expect out of a double duelist comp. Also, Dobis apparently has just unlocked something. He's looking crazy these last couple of rounds. And we actually got to see the result already, which is insane. And we're one off of the Omen ult. And we see our friends 808 on a low buy, which they are actually positioned to walk out mid with that. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like a little bit scary here, especially if you're 808s. Grizzly's kind of hard reading the situation. Dobis gets 2, Sandy gets another, Shady B follows up with a 4th, and I mean, this is just, they're falling apart here. I mean, it looks like Grizzlies took a total of maybe 100 damage that round. We're following the Boombot as it potentially goes to look out for Miko here, and Miko shoots it down.
Not too late
so,
yet.
Yeah. I mean, Miko could make this happen. You know, this is a bit of a scary situation. Really taking their time, but unfortunately, Miko only with a classic in his hand. It's
planted.
you'd have to hope for, you know, a miracle above miracles here. And Dobis gets it.
And Dobis, is that his third back-to-back 3K? Fourth?
Yeah.
Has he gotten the 3K every round of attack?
Dobis changed the name
Dobis
from
is like
Dobis to
that.
Papa Dobis.
Dobis just had a baby, I believe. I think that's what the username changes for.
It sure is.
Parenthood has changed Dobis for the better.
Yeah, parent buff, I guess.
Honestly, like, it was pretty predictable for the walk down mid. I think that's also what Grizzlies did on their ecos. Maybe they've had some footage to study, but wonderful hold from them to expect that out of the side of 808. And now we are back on full buys for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the gif of Dobis wearing the like mask, the ski mask there, looking a little silly. So I mean, maybe Dobis is in full ski mask mode, doing crazy things, trying to get these 3Ks and absolutely blow up 808 here on this attack side half. And it looks like they've won 4 rounds in a row on this attack side, so it's looking pretty good on the side of Grizzlies here. So I mean, this is a pretty tough spot. It looks like No Hens maybe intentionally left a bit of a gap in that smoke, trying to look for a potential play here, but they're just kind of sitting around waiting for something to happen. Both teams on the full buy here, noting where Sky is from that flash mid, seeing if anything can happen on the side of Grizzlies, if they can make anything happen, or instead they're going to try and play a lot slower. Cypher has actually moved over to the A site, so it's a little bit different than what they're used to here.
This is the first round that we're seeing Grizzlies slow down. Also, I believe. I don't know if 808 knows what to do about this.
And speaking of slowing down,
if you look here, this
Sandy
Phoenix ult, there's no bomb here. There's no bomb.
Wow. There's no bomb? This is a fake?
It's
Crazy
just a
gets
fake.
it anyways? And the entirety of 808's bought it.
30 seconds left.
And now Crazen gets out.
No.
What an amazing play. Unless maybe Zubas can get the pick on a Crazen. No! They're just gone.
Wow.
Like,
It's still a
they
4v5.
actually-
It's not over.
wow.
No ults,
That was
unfortunately.
really well played.
Honestly, if I had not been staring at the map, I wouldn't have seen that coming either.
Me either. I fully believe that this was Sandy and Crazen making some kind of play here to try and make this round here. But Sandy, bit of a tough spot here. Not willing to throw a flash on. Sandy gets to pick on the
Sandy gets
Zupals.
the pick.
And now, I mean, the bomb's down. Sandy gets traded out by IQ, but it serves a little bit of a distraction here. Auxiliary goes down, and Chickenson and IQ both get theirs on Shady Beer and No Hens. And now, Papa Dobis in a bit of a tough spot here. Gets the flick, unable to secure it on Chickenson, but honestly, time has passed. And now, Spray Down comes out. And it's second
nice,
one, the
Crazen.
third one rather, from Crazen. I mean, that is amazingly played. Whoever called that fake, you know, onto the side of A side, I'm going to assume Wonder or No Hens, right? That was immaculately called. The entirety of 808 bit on the bait there, and it was fantastically played. And Crazy was able to get the pick and get out.
Can't say that I blame them for believing it, though. I mean, they saw the Phoenix on B, and then they saw the Phoenix ulting out A. I don't know why that would be a fake ever. That was beautifully executed. That is their 5th round in a row out of 5 on attack.
Yeah.
Looking to get their 6th. We do see a Bucky and a Viper ult, which could be dangerous if they try to walk into it.
A hero by 2. The Viper coming out mid, similar to what Grizzlies did. The Spike is actually still winning in spawn, looking to play a bit more safe here. You know, kind of recognizing that Grizzlies has that full buy, and they really don't want to give up too many guns, especially to, you know, some players like Auxiliary or Miko, who've been performing exemplarily well. But actually, Auxiliary has went for a bit of a hero rifle here, trying to make something happen. You know, Viper holding that mid space down. These players are really taking their time, really taking it slow, looking for something to do.
I would take it slow too if I were in their shoes. These guys have low buy. You have no clue where they are. They could all be in the same corner right now. They are a lot more spread out than I would expect them to be for this buy, but fair enough. They got to watch all the angles. It does look like we're about to see a group up and a hit potentially onto the Cypher site, which is a little dangerous. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Doba's coming out here with the double satchel with the fade out here. Oh, gets the kill on the Miko. That's huge for them. But actually, Zupal gets a 3-man blind, gets one of the crazy. That's a pretty good pick for a Deagle trade here. Honestly, with the way Auxiliary's been moving, this could be a round win, especially having access to that Omen ult for information and that Waylay ult to slow these players down and get as many as he wants with them being all slow. But now we see IQ going down main here. Remember, Grizzlies has no sentinel. They have no way of knowing there's someone on the flank here. The way they all comes out. Stuns all 3 on site here, I believe. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3, gets 4. And an amazingly done retake there. Chickens and lives on a measly 5 HP to bring it to a 9-9 game.
That was scripted. They knew exactly how they were going to get that round win. Not even a little bit of a flaw there. Beautiful work from 808s to get them back onto the side of the momentum that they might need after losing 5 straight. I cannot say that that was a waste of ults whatsoever. That was great. It's crazy that Grizzlies, after kind of playing very calculated, did not realize there's a Waylay ult and they should spread out a little more.
Yeah.
But let's see if this stops the train. Grizzlies still looking very strong.
Both teams on a full buy, so anything can happen this round. This round is kind of a decider here. You know, if you lose this round, you have a pretty low buy coming in the next round, and it's kind of scary for you. The Skyflash coming out gets a few. Sandy trying to get out here, make something happen, even while the Cypher's tripped here. But unfortunately, Dobas gets spotted out and just shot through a smoke, blind and stunned here. And unfortunately, Miko just keeps going. But unfortunately, Crazy and Shady B fire back is the pick on the Miko and on the Zoop house here. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if they know that Chickenson is sitting on site, although they might suspect that that's the case. The TP
to
out.
See if,
it looks like they're trying to leave.
Found.
Shady B kind of inserted here in the world's most risky spot of all time. This
scary.
is going to be a tough spot here. Chickenson not aware under any circumstances the TP.
Does not matter because Shady B cannot get that.
Shady B can't do anything about it, but I mean,
hey, what about IQ though? IQ's still waiting.
IQ is locked onto this A main angle here, holding that down, but unfortunately, it's a TP back to A the whole time. I can't.
Look at IQ though.
Grizzlies is just playing this so back, but No Hands gets caught with the iPad out.
Oh,
and
IQ
fires back. And Crazy's on the other side of the map.
Oh no.
Auxiliary and Chickenson have to take advantage of Shady B being so alone here and planted in this corner because Crazen is nowhere to be found. Crazen cannot make an impact here being in this spot that they're currently in. Shady B has to make something happen here. Tucking deep behind map. Auxiliary knows it's a probable cause that he's there. Crazen lurking up behind. Throws the molly onto the bomb, able to stop him from getting on it. But Crazy Shady B playing around the Rosie.
Oh, Shady B. Shady B didn't have to do anything. Shady B just had to make sure that they could not figure out where the heck that C's came from. That's all that mattered. What a wrap.
Wow.
I do think it's something to point out that on the map split, it does seem a lot of people do not check that map thoroughly.
Yeah.
Ever. Whether it's attacking and somebody's sitting behind it on defense, whether it's getting wrapped around it. It is a hard, very pivotal piece of the A site. And we just saw an absolutely great play out of Shady B for that.
Yeah, that was an absolutely fantastic play out of Shady B, showing that, you know, anybody here can make something happen, even though, you know, a top performer of somebody like Sandy in the past may be doing so well this game. Sandy can still make a comeback here. Somebody like Shady B, who had, if I'm not mistaken, 8 kills, just got a 4K, right, to win the round. Yep. So, I mean, it's amazing seeing these guys come out and go out here. And Papadobas immediately gets just a nade kill on Emiko right below his feet. Almost looked like a Goomba stomp there of some kind.
That was Dobas' second nade kill of the half, I believe, too. That's insane.
Yeah, that was amazing to play. Sandy gets one into Auxiliary, showing who's boss, but Chickenson fires back with a crazy shot on the Sandy there. But the ult coming out from Dobas here, trying to get a lot of damage on the IQ and Zoop House there. Seeing if something can happen of it. Gets the pick. Traded out by Zoop House, but unfortunately, Crazen's on the lurk. Now Chicken's in.
Chicken is gonna save this.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's a save.
Yeah,
I can't say I blame them. This Did Chicken maybe 2 of them forced? Looking at the money, that was interesting. Their buy is interesting next round. I
Yeah.
think maybe 3 of them have money and then 2 of them don't. So that would be Chicken saving for a 4th.
Yeah.
I guess Zupals can do it with no
Eh,
detail.
I mean, it looks like they're all on a pretty good standing here. I do want to point out how rich Grizzlies is, though. You know, they could lose
Yeah.
this round and still comfortably
good.
buy next round, right? Grizzlies is really abusing the momentum here. It's enough to make Miko want to switch off of the B side and change things up. It's enough to make 808s kind of sweating their boots a little bit here. It's enough to make them stack the Cypher sites, right? We have 2 sitting heaven, we have Cypher sitting on site, and only 1 of them in auxiliary sitting on the B side.
Look at where our team is. Wow.
And I gotta say, Grizzlies is watching the stream again because Sandy's all thing on the B side where only auxiliary is sitting. But IQ fires back onto Sandy here. Dobis now just straight up on the site right now. Oh, but they unfortunately catch IQ going up the smoke or the rope at a bad time. Amazing play. Auxiliary, the all comes out from Viper. They don't spot him. Papa Dobis is able to get one onto auxiliary. Can he get any more done? Bad a little bit here. A little bit scary. 3 players, Zupal is able to find the space with the smoke. It happens. There's a bunch of bullets flying everywhere. You're gonna get shot through the smoke there. It happens. This could be a really good ult, but unfortunately Crazy gets the spray down. Dies here though. This could be a pivotal kill on the side of 808 here. If they're able to win this round, it has to be now.
I think we are going to see
push
match
here.
point here for Grizzlies. They are a little too scared to push this. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? I have such major respect for Krazen realizing he's going to get Cypher ulted and just running at them. He got one. He got 1.5. I think he did some damage too. Awesome.
And
what are you going to do? You're going to get ulted anyway. Oh well.
I want to point out, like, that round was kind of like the big round. You know, 808s will need to get at least 2, like, back-to-back rounds while they're on a bit of a weaker bye, while they're on, you know, while Grizzlies is just, like, rolling in their dough, like Scrooge McDuck over there. And, I mean, it's just so tough for 808 now because they're down to this 9-12 situation. They have to win these 3 rounds in a row, and look at their bye.
Yeah. If anyone could do it, though, it's these guys. We saw what happened when they had the Waylay ult and, like, 2 Stingers and a Deagle and maybe a Phantom. They are calling a timeout. I would imagine they are going to try to stick together and do some sort of set thing again. No ults to play with this time, unfortunately, but they do have 2 rifles. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And something I would like to point out in the party is that there are a few people on this team, and on both sides really, whose paws are tasting wonderful today. We have 221 kills on Grizzlies. We've got Eggsy, 18 and 15. Exactly what I want to see out of my fellow paw chewers.
Yeah, I mean, their paws are tasting so good at this moment. I mean, even someone like, you know, whoever's calling the shots on the side of Grizzlies is paws must be tasting immaculate. With these plays we've been seeing being called, I mean, they're just doing crazy things on all sorts of maps, like all sorts of mind games, all sorts of fakes. You would never see it coming. We would never have noticed that Sandy did not have the bomb if it wasn't for this Snoopy staring at the map there. This mid play here coming out from Grizzlies. Oh, look where Krazen is! Krazen is absolutely everywhere around the entire map. Krazen is a lurk master at this point in time. Again, no Sentinel to watch that flank, but it looks like no one on the side of 808's even going to test it. Hobus getting caught by the trip there somehow. I mean, that is definitely an interesting situation. And Sandy gets one to Bingo and doesn't have, not able to find a second one on the Zupals, but need to stay forward through the situation. Chicken's in able to get caught up by Krazen. Krazen is just everywhere that needs to be.
Krazen doesn't even care about going back with the team either. And it does look like, unless we get a 4v1 out of Zupals right here, right now with this, I don't remember what the gun is called. And there is map 1. Crazy way that this map went. Maybe iCaster blessed it or cursed it, depending on which team you're on. I said that they could look good on the attack side, and both teams looked absolutely wonderful on the attack side.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing play.
Like we thought, that was some very good Valorant. Seeing 13 first bloods out of the Raze and the Viper on Grizzlies alone. I am in disbelief on how good Grizzlies paw must be tasting right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it's so amazing. As you were talking about, 808s really, has this kind of consistency with the team with all five of them being grouped up in the middle there. But Dobus and Krazen are having a home run, a homer of a game here. And it's just looking fantastic. They're doing so good. They're putting in so much work. Even though Krazen is not a duelist or doing any of these things, Krazen is just getting these first kills because he's all over the map doing anywhere you think he's not, he's there every time. And it's just
Well,
amazing.
I am so excited to see how Summit goes next map. We will be going here pretty shortly to a 5-minute break, so stay in your seats. Refill your popcorn if you want, but be right back here because I am very excited to see how we look at our two very strong teams on this map too, seeing if we can keep 808 in business.
See you soon.
Party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love. But we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? DJ keep playing the music. She throwing it back, she too thick. The way she move, she ruthless. She straight to the point like a toothpick. She asked can we take us a photo, only if I can take you to Ruth Chris. She laughed and said that's funny though, we got a deal if you bring the music. We put our cups in the air like we don't care, like we in the 90s. Stars in the sky, I'm feeling so high. The lights on the screen are just blinding. I don't even care, caressing your hair, enjoying the night 'cause we vibing. Not worried about tomorrow at all, 'cause we're gonna party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love. But we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun?
Welcome back, Valorant Draft Circuit Nation. We are here for Map 2, Grizzlies versus 808s, looking to see if 808s will stay in the game. Moving to Map 2 is Summit. I just looked. Both teams have played this map once, and one team has won and one team has lost. I would say that is not much data. So I'm hoping that both teams have scrimmed this a little. I know 808 are scrim merchants.
Yes.
So hoping to see some crazy Valorant once again. We just saw a great back and forth game where it just seems Grizzly got the momentum they needed to finish that map out. But looking forward to it. Any thoughts here, Tricky, on map 2?
Yeah, I mean, from talking to some of these players, my experience with, speaking to them makes me think that Grizzlies isn't the most comfortable on Summit, especially considering, this isn't their pick, right? 808s did pick this map. Grizzlies opted to ban Breeze. And so maybe the Summit was one of those maps that they just kind of had to accept that 808's more comfortable on it than we are, just have to let it go. So 808's picking this map maybe tells me that they're a little bit more comfortable on it than Grizzlies. So we are going to probably see 808s with that, calculated, mid-oriented playstyle that we saw a little bit of on Split on Summit, because Summit really lends itself towards these mid plays. So I'm very curious what the comps are going to be as we load into this map 2.
So interestingly enough, I went and looked, and both of these teams run double smokes on Summit, which I don't think this map has been fully hashed out yet. Personally, I don't think it's all that. But it works for some people.
Here, actually.
And yeah, you know what? I think that this is a fair call, actually. If this is 808's map pick, Grizzlies did get to pick their side, so this is kind of an ascent situation. I've seen a lot of teams with great success picking defense and then picking double senti. I don't hate that at all. It does look a little different than the comps that they ran. Again, they've only run this map once on the VDC website, so anything could have changed between then and now.
Yeah, for a second there, I was kind of getting excited because we potentially would have gotten the Sandy Sage there.
Sandy messing with me.
And to be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of putting these flex duelist players on stage because you see crazy walls come out, very reminiscent of the pro player Grim or the top player Grim. And I mean, it's awesome to see them get super creative with these wall spots and, kind of build like they're in Fortnite on them. And it's just a great, fun, all-around thing to see. And I was a big proponent of it when I was playing on Meow, putting Craven on stage there for a map like Sunset. And it turned out fantastic when we got to play that. So, I would have been a big proponent of it. Unfortunately, the tried and true, the Phoenix is going to come through. That's what you need, right? That's what you have. That's what you played before. You're comfortable on it. Play what you're comfortable on. I do not blame it. I want to point out again, now it's the opposite. Now 808s is without a Sentinel, and now Grizzlies has the no hands back on KJ that they're comfortable with.
We shall see how this goes. I do know Wanderer is a big KJ enjoyer. And I actually, as much as I hate Sandy for going off the stage, I thought that was a good idea. I like Phoenix a lot on this map. Unfortunately, my series never went to a map 3, but we too had a Phoenix after many, many, many comp adjustments on this map. Because again, nobody has figured anything out. But I see really great value in Phoenix here. The orbs are very easily farmable. Not that that's the biggest proponent anymore with 7 instead of 6 on Phoenix. But it's still doable. It's still very good, and they have a ton of util to play around with, even though they don't have what you would think is a ton of util characters compared to 808. I mean, you look at them, and there is so much utility between the Yoru, Harbor, the Waylay, the Fade. We got quite a bit to work with, too, on the defenders. This should be good to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty good. I mean, we are seeing, Grizzlies stacked towards this A site. We have 4 players sitting, just waiting on the A site with, no hands holding the entirety of the left side of the map. I do want to point out some of the kind of, as we go on, we'll talk about the differences in the way we've seen this map evolve, but we aren't shutting the door mid if we're no hands here, which is a kind of a choice that we have actively being made. A lot of teams love shutting the door. A lot of teams hate shutting the door. It's really a matter of preference. As we see, 808's working at this mid presence here, trying to make something happen. No hands in a rough spot here. Gets picked. It's not quite. A little bit down to 31 HP. The Fade Dog doesn't pick him out. We're going to see a swing here. Nico is able to secure that kill. Nico actually on the Yoru this time as opposed to the Cypher, which is a very interesting change. And, is that pretty standard? You tell me.
Nico is a certified I would say one trick, but his team does not let him do that. He loves his Yoru. I do know that about Miko. So he is on a very, very comfortable agent. I would put him up to the likes of Sandy here with Duelist Duel.
Wow. And Dobus and Sandy just running this down here. Dobus gets a second one. It looks like Sandy has really been the butt of a lot of these jokes here, getting traded out while Dobus gets the kills here. But Dobus.
Oh, Dobus.
Well, a little bit stressed there, but now Crazy in the 1v1 situation. They're both so low and just looking at the wrong spot. Zupal is able to finish it off with a nice 3K.
Dobus wants this very badly. That was an unfortunate whiff, but we are seeing a generational lock-in from Dobus. Again, the first half of the map, I don't think anybody looked too crazy, except for Krazen.
Yes.
Krazen was putting up a real strong showing first half of split, but Dobus has really come online in the last, and he almost did it again. It was very, very close. So we're going to see our 808s on a full buy here.
Yeah, 808 is going to send for this full buy. I do want to point out it's almost entirely Bulldogs, right? They're running this down. They're going to try and push the A site. I like what you said. Grizzlies is making this adjustment to, stack down the A site with these. Oh, Miko. Poor Miko.
That was one.
Yeah, Supal takes it.
I mean, perfect round.
Expected result, right?
I don't like seeing that many Bulldogs in a round. I feel like that gun sometimes just does not shoot the way you want it to. I have lost many a times on a buy like that with a Bulldog. But they made it work. It does look like maybe somebody on Grizzlies shot that Yoru clone and then everyone was a little sidetracked. I didn't see exactly, but it seemed like most of them were looking somewhere that was not people. So, it is what it is. We move on. It was a great attempt at a Grizzlies. I like that stack. I'm a big fan of stacking. So now we're on our guns. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I do want to point out, kind of, if you watch a lot of the differences between how pro plays played on this map specifically as it kind of evolves and rapidly changes over time, we're seeing this very strong mid presence. Miko opts to shoot this door down, which is a pretty smart play, especially if you're attacking here. But if you're trying to get onto the B site here, it's going to prove very difficult, especially with knowing that No Hands has been there every single round, locking it down, while IQ gets traded out for Crazy, and Papadova is able to find one onto Miko here. Looking strong out of these players as all three of them sit and bend here. Auxiliary trying to get out here. Double swing. Shady B is able to get one before getting traded, and Crazen gets Chickens in down to 1 HP. So this technically is winnable. Technically.
Wow.
5 HP? Wow.
That was a lot of back and forth that we just saw. That was crazy.
It's a little bit scary. I mean, this is definitely winnable. 2 headshots would seal the deal, but No Hands picks it very slowly, able to get the pick. Chicken's in at 3 pieces taken here, a 3-piece chicken McNugget, if you would say. Dobus lurking around the back here, but these 2 players, unaware of where either of them are, Chicken's in, looking for something a little bit scary here, trying to find something. Dobus aware that he could be main here. Chickens in has a potential play here, but he sees the gun, knows that he's there. Ready for the pick, gets the headshot. No, he's not. Dobus is able to secure it on the 5 HP target, bringing it to a 1-2 situation.
That was almost deadly. That was probably a Valorant centimeter from Dobus getting shot in the head there. I'm speechless right now. That was a very crazy round. Unfortunately, Crazen just could not spray down that last harbor there to secure the round, and then it got very dangerous. But I'm glad to see Grizzlies was able to pull out their round on their bye. But great Valorant from 808s. They are really, again, taking advantage of mid and just running with any kind of control that they can get. It looks wonderful.
Chicken's in actually now with the harbor all. This could prove extremely valuable in taking these sites and holding them down and kind of setting it up for the retakes and stuff. But I mean, again, you're seeing the mid presence, you're seeing it over and over again, and it really looks like it doesn't stop working. This works every time. Having this mid presence leaves you so able to make all these different changes and leaves you really able to do anything you want. Right? You can go wherever you want. All these things going down from both teams, trying to understand where they are. Miko getting a lot of info on who's where, but Shady B getting an eye on him is so helpful here. But Miko able to get a crazy play here, but Crazy strikes back. Sandy actually tucked to the side. We could see a play from Sandy here. Finds one on the onto the auxiliary here. The wall comes up from Astra. Sandy in a very interesting spot, but IQ fires back onto No Hands here, and then the team, they can just leave now, right? This Astra wall is down. No Hands is completely down the other side. They just get to leave, but Chicken's in the world's deepest insert. This is crazy.
I wish he would have turned to look at the people on the site. He knew that they were there. That would have been a very cool upset out of him. But I understand why he's going to
30
go group with his
seconds left.
teammates.
This is definitely the safer play, I would say.
And our friends on the side of Grizzlies are also taking the safest route that they could take. They are
Yeah, right.
caterpillaring down mid to see if they can find one.
On the flank here, do they know? Nobody's able to get the turn.
Oh.
The kill on the chicken, but that Q slides
Last
back.
player
And Sandy in a 1v1 situation. Is Sandy able to clutch this out? Finds the flash. Taps the bomb. Gets it to half. This is huge. 9 bullets in the gun. Sandy sees him again. Knows they have to go stick it again. Oh,
Wow.
but unfortunately, AQ fires back and is able to secure that round. Sad day for any Sandy fans.
Wow, wow, wow. That, again, just crazy round where nobody is willing to let up on the teamwork and making sure that everybody gets traded out. The one thing that I'm finding very interesting that 808s is doing, you mentioned the mid door.
Yeah.
Why are our attackers breaking the door that lets them into the CT
Yeah.
spawn? I find that strange. I wish they would not do that because it would leave a lot of pathways open for them to get those lurks maybe a little more activated.
Yeah.
But evidently it's working for them. They're up 1-3 or 3-1. Unfortunately, there was a P10 attempt.
A little bit too
but
late.
It's a little too late for that. I'm hoping nobody is disconnected here.
Yeah, me too. I hope that nothing has gone too wrong on the side of GR here. But I do want to point out that as we kind of lurk here, like you said, I believe it was actually Grizzly that broke that door this time, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe a bit of a change here, but they are on a bit of a low buy here as Dobas tries to fend off the horde with just a ghost
Look
in
at
hand.
where Wanderer is.
Ooh.
So, I mean,
No util on the B side. They might suspect that Wanderer is on A, but they don't know. Wanderer is just sitting main the whole time as Zillery looks to clear it out and has a bit of wherewithal to know that he's there. Yeah, pre-fires that angle, knows exactly where he's going to be. Amazing play by Zillery, able to find
Too
that pick. That's
aware.
going to be really big.
but Dobas is in here. Oh,
Ooh,
bad swing. Unfortunate.
wow. Yalla coming out from Miko. I get something done here. I mean, at this point, wow, Crazen with the late lurk as usual. Crazen is always where you don't suspect he's going to end up
Expected
being.
out of Grayson.
Yeah, right. That is the play that Crazen
Last
goes for
player
every time. And
standing.
unfortunately, Sandy, bullets are
That's
magnetized to
unlucky.
their head, and that's just unfortunate.
Are we saving the outlaw or are we dying to the spike? I think we're dying to
I
the spike.
guess we're dying to the spike, but I mean, it's possible we could do either. Looks like we're
There we
dying
go.
to spike. Nice.
Dying to
Good.
spike.
I actually want to point out, as I was talking about just a little bit earlier before we kind of some action happened, you know, the differences between, you know, the way different regions tend to play this map. If I'm not mistaken, NA tends to play this map a little bit more, you know, leaving the door open, looking to op stuff here, right? You know, making sure that we have this mid presence, you know, while maybe more of the eastern side of the world, you know, they're playing a lot more with that door shut. They're playing aggressive. They're playing, you know, making sure this door shut, trying to minimize the amount of avenues that any team has to go anywhere. And, you know, that's just a regional difference, really. NA really loves their ops, but I have not seen a single op get purchased from either team, if I'm not mistaken, from last map. And
Not
Auxiliary
yet.
able to get 2 here. Sandy fires back. Auxiliary on an absolute roll here before getting shut down by Shady B here. And these two players are just tucked in this corner in the pit of doom and despair, getting pulled by the fade pull. And whoa, Sandy strikes back with a pick here. We see one more, not quite millimeters away from killing Zupals there.
I would have liked that play last round when they had the pistols. I think that was a little dangerous with the Harbor ult still up. I would have hoped that they saw that coming. Is what it is. We're going to move to a low buy. I hope to see them stacked here. It does look like maybe they're looking to B. And moving the Senti around, I think that's a good call. We shall see how this goes, having that turret hold down the link instead of a
Yeah.
person.
I think it is interesting, you know, like you said, you know, if you're on the save, you're expected to kind of group up for this play, really kind of barter for the space. You're really trying to, I guess, you know, maybe you're trying to see if you can let out your Bart here, if that makes sense. And so maybe we're seeing if we can try and take this space in a way that makes sense, try and get one pick, have a gun in hand, see if we can make someone take over what happens, and IQ absolutely shuts this down before getting picked off by Crazen here. 2 for 1 on the save, absolutely not bad. Now you have a gun in hand. Now you can make something happen. No Hens trying to get something done, but it's just a tough spot to be in. Again,
Spike
808 has
planted.
no Sentinel. They have no way to watch this flank. These two coming in from behind, if I'm not mistaken, Shady B has a gun in hand. Could be a little scary.
There.
We shall see what our Shady B can do. Got the flank coming out.
Get that done. Not quite able to get the kill on Auxiliary. Not enough damage out of the bandit, but just enough to be a little scary here. Now maybe Auxiliary's gonna go hide, and Crazen runs on, unable to get the pick, and Zoopals fires back into Shady B. Fade on fade violence, and that's just the round.
Hey, they got out the top frag.
Yeah.
And we're going to
There's
see a
the
timeout
timeout.
here for the side of Grizzlies, which is to be expected when you're down 1-6. However, we did see Grizzlies do this exact, very close at least, thing on split, and then they were perfectly fine. Maybe this team just isn't a big fan of defending. That's fine. Personally, I've seen this map go both ways in VDC. I've seen it be very defender-sided, very attacker-sided. I have been leaning on the attacker-sided, personally. It's a very big map. There's a lot of places to go, and it's a lot harder to rotate. But I think right now, if I had to guess, Grizzlies is probably talking about being in more tradable positions and not letting the team sort of flood out as much as they are. They're giving a lot of space.
Yeah, they're kind of, with the way we've seen them set up in the past, they're kind of setting up where we have these 4 people sitting on A site. Maybe sometimes we have Dobus lurking around mid, but No Hens is pretty statically sitting on the B site, taking up as much space as possible. And so maybe we're going to see a switch around, like you said. But even when they stack that site, they're kind of not exactly fighting for A main. And when the round they did, it didn't quite go to their favor. So, maybe this round we're looking to do something a bit more proactive. And kind of like I was talking about, now No Hens is sitting on the A site, really trying to lock this down, see what we can do. These Astro Stars are there, how much things we can happen. But now we see Sandy leaning towards mid here. Maybe they're trying to push out mid, and Dobus AFK?
Oh no. What's going on?
Maybe this was the P10 they called for.
Must be the baby.
Must be the baby.
Well,
The mid push coming out here. The side of Grizzly. Sandy turns it and puts Miko down.
Face your fear.
But IQ fires back on the
IQ
Shady
clicked
B,
the
and
trade.
are they going to run him down? Not quite.
and we see Dobus sprinting up there to go get a gun, which
Dobus?
expected.
Yeah, now honestly this is a tough round. A 4v4 situation, but unfortunately, I mean, like, even though we have KJ ult, this could be winnable, but the Viper ult being down, and especially on a site like B, where the KJ ult's not going to cover the whole site, it's going to be kind of hard to retake this.
They might have a false sense of... Oh, never mind their steps. I was
there
going
it
to say
is.
false sense of security with the dog not clearing, but...
Wait a minute. Recognizing that the Viper has to kind of stay in this ult for a little bit to make sure that the ult stays up, so we don't actually lose that smoke integrity. Pops out for just a little bit, able to find their way back in, so the smoke stays up. Great play by that, but Papa Dobus able to find 2.
Oh,
Just down.
the stick,
Hit
the stick, the
third,
stick! Oh my gosh!
and the baby gave him powers.
Okay, calm down. W Trust, beautiful teamwork. That only
Yeah.
comes with years and years of playing Roblox and reading books to each other in their pastime.
I've heard they keep their face cams on and they fist bump the cameras every round win. It's like they're a real team.
That was beautiful. Exactly what you want to see after a timeout, and really what you don't expect after seeing one of their players AFK for like 20 seconds. That was
Yeah.
terrifying. Good for them.
I actually don't think that Dobus had any armor that round, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
so
he
I
had
mean,
nothing.
it just went in there with a Vandal in the Dream, picked up off the ground like scrap, one man's scrap, another man's treasure, and Dobus made the treasure work for that round. But this mid dog is gonna alert Shady B to some presence in the mid space here, as actually B site's almost entirely given up.
I'll find you.
I think the difference maker has been them pressuring, even though you can see they're not taking any space. The defenders pressuring that space back has completely disrupted what Grizzly or what 808 has been trying to do, which is scare them out of the space.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to point out like this harbor wall. It's a little unorthodox, Usually a lot of these players tend to, but IQ finds one of the Dobus. I don't even know what happened, but I mean, a lot of these players tend to opt for this kind of closer arbor wall so they can just funnel on the A site. 808's kind of recognizing that maybe we want to take all this space, but No Hands in an interesting spot right now. Maybe we can find a pick, but it looks like No Hands is in a crazy spot right now. The timing from Accelerate Sandy. Sandy's able to flash out, find one. Gets traded out by Chickens in. Chickens gets 2 onto the No Hands here. Shady B peeks out, gets shut down by IQ here, and now Krazen, a star player from last game, is put in a 1v4 situation.
Was tough to watch. Unfortunately, what good timings out of both teams. I think Krazen is going to save here, which cannot blame him. I don't think I'd want to try to pull off a 1v4 either, especially when you have 4 rounds down. I'm wondering if they should. I mean, they've got the money to pull out an op. I wonder if that would be the difference maker for our friends at Grizzlies.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things, almost every round, we've kind of seen this Harbor throw these smokes down. We have so many things happening. The Viper, almost every round, is throwing this very powerful mid-smoke. Maybe in an attempt to, try and take as much space as possible, shut off these angles, shut off Grizzlies' ability to see these long lines here, and, allow them to take that space and put it under their control. So, I mean, it's just a very tough situation. And now we're seeing a P10 come out, actually this time for the side of 808. And P10 is going to be paused. Maybe not here. We're actually saying never mind. So something could be happening here. Anyways, so on the side of Grizzlies, I mean, what adaptations do you think they're going to have to make in these last 2 rounds, or these last 3 rounds? And then going into this next half, how are they going to make it happen? We saw a comeback similar to this on Split, but how can they do it here?
It looks like they really just want to try this aggression here. That's what they want. They want this to work.
Amazing call on the side of 808 to send that Euro clone down. Sandy trying to get a lot of information down. Dobus sets Chicken down, and now Miko running onto the B site with this Euro ult in hand, trying to take the space. XE going onto it, but there's still a little bit of No Hands info here with the util down here. But now it's a 5v3 potentially retake, but Viper in the corner, able to get nobody, and now it's a 5v3 retake with an Astral Wall available, with a lot of util available. But now no one's able to get another one. It's now a 5v2 situation. A little bit of a poor buy here. Auxiliary, the only one with a gun, sitting in A main, trying to make something happen. This is really tough if you're Auxiliary. If you have to make something happen, this is probably going to go. Oh my goodness, never mind. This is now very winnable on the side of Auxiliary. Not quite able to close it on the Krazen.
Great try.
But honestly, I saw signs of hope.
I think that the P10 was related to Miko maybe being AFK, because this is now the 2nd round, and now it's evened out, right? We've got 1 on GRR, 1 on 808. Miko had no gun that round, and 2 of his players were maxed. So I'm assuming something happened there with the AFK potentially situation, but it is what it is. They still have quite a bit of a lead and plenty of money to work with, whereas Grizzlies is scrapping for it. I'm wondering if there's the buy. We're looking good, but dangerous.
I mean, 808 is looking so dominant regardless. It's just such a powerful play. We're seeing Grizzlies look up this mid play, but 808 just fires back. We see a 4v4 in the mid space here, trying to take it down. Krazen and Sandy looking disgusting, but Zoopals fires back with 2, and Krazen and XE are just having the fights of their life here. Krazen and actually, I'm lying. Krazen and IQ are at the top of their respective leaderboards. And now No Hands in a 1v2 situation. 808 is looking so dominant in their team play right now with IQ and Auxiliary. These are 2 very strong players. This is an interesting space. They didn't actually shut the door on B. You never ever see a post plant where the doors open on B. And this leaves a whole new level of angles that could be seen here. Krazen or No Hands has to make the choice to shut the door if anything's going to happen here, if that wants to be the case. But now we're opting to be a little bit quieter, trying to lurk on site. We find a pick here, unable to find the pick on Auxiliary. See, No Hands had to clear the upper angle. With that door being open, it left a whole new angle there.
Yeah, I think it was smart of them. I also thought it was smart with the weird little pixel that IQ was holding. That could have proven very beneficial if No Hands had honestly very fairly chosen to go wrap around backside like that. There would have been this little pixel where you could have seen. But he didn't need it. End of the day, Eggsy is feeling like him right now. Actually, all of them are. The only person who's not extremely positive is Miko, but Miko's doing all the entry work for him. I can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, Miko is kind
Oh,
of
oh, oh, oh.
at sitting in 10 deaths, but Sandy, they spawn
Oh!
them out, but Sandy gets one first, and No Hands gets traded out. Now Miko has just gotten those 2 trades here. Finally, when Miko isn't the one going in first, they're showing amazing firepower out of them. But now, the Fatal comes out, and Dobus still gets caught, even though we burned to the dash to try and escape. 3v3 situation here. We do have the Astral to take this back. We do have the Jet Knives, but there's no need to use it because we are on all of these full guns. And this could be a little scary, but IQ recognized the situation. Krazen is not able to recognize it.
If Krazen didn't close that door, they would not have known.
IQ, the Molly, the tether, the Molly. Unable to just barely not find Dobus there. That was amazing team play out of them. This could have been crazy, but Shady B through the smoke, able to get that pre-fire off here. But Dobus pops the ult, and Zupals looking absolutely disgusting with these taps, firing back into a 9-3 half. Now you've heard a 9-3 curse before, but
the 9-3 curse.
Yeah.
Not on this map. You know what? If anybody can do it, it is Grizzlies. They're gonna be attack second half once again on a map where they have definitely the ability. They've got double duelist again, competing with 808's double duelist. We shall see what happens here. Looks like they are going to spread out a little bit more toward mid than 808s typically would. They like to take mid pressure, but not quite in this way. So interesting to see how 808 reacts to this. It does look like they have the harbor position to close that door off rip, which sounds about right.
yeah, Harper's actually positioned to throw one way off the bat here into A main here. Looking for some picks here, but again, like you said, the door is going to shut off start. So we're seeing 2 very different styles of play. It looks like 808 has a pretty good understanding of exactly what they want to do on this map. Pretty good understanding of exactly how they want things to go for them. While meanwhile, Grizzlies is just kind of just sitting in the mid space here, trying to look for any sort of weakness, but 808 just has 2 stacked in Ben already ready to go.
And they're going to burn that harbor wall, honestly, very early for the presence that they see. That could be dangerous if they need that later, because as you can see, Grizzlies is just completely backed off. They do not care. And the KJ util, actually, something else to note, the KJ put down her alarm bot to make sure that nobody pushed out the A extremity, and instead of shooting it so that they're unsure, they're leaving it there. So, Grizzly has a lot of control right now.
Yeah. I do want to point out, you know, Dobus really fearless here, going in on 13 HP.
Does not care.
No, does not care. No regards for his own life. But now we got 2 people coming into heaven here. Are we going to see phone from Dobus? We are not. IQ also on a very low HP count. Able to go in here, but no heads on the lurk here. Gets 1. Tucks into the cubby here. Are we going to see a second come one here? Oh my goodness, the movement from no heads. A little bit of damage here. Shady B. Main here. And unfortunately, Krazen goes down. That might shut down the 9-3 curse.
It's going to be hard from here. If Grizzly wants to do it, I fear they will have to probably force this round, which I don't think they're scared of, but forcing now is going to be better for them than having to force on the 11 and then have to play for potentially overtime.
Yeah.
So and it looks like I'm right, we got 4 stingers and Wanderer doing Wanderer things. Unfortunately,
Yep.
I do have to call out, we've got 1 reverse pie. And if Wanderer is not going to kill this round, we may see another one. I'm hoping that it's not the case. But
Yeah, me too.
it's all right.
These guys
We all have
on
bad
Grizzlies,
maps.
but you know, like I said, this map is really not their strong suit, to be honest. 808s is looking a lot more dominant on this map than 808s, or 808s is looking a lot more dominant on this map than Grizzlies is. And Auxiliary finds the headshot.
Wow.
But ADB fires back on the Miko
The
here.
judge is a terrible
Wow,
gun.
with the shotgun from Sandy. Coming through the smoke. It's a second
Oh,
one.
Sandy.
Oh, not quite. Able to find one here, but that's a good damage. That's a lot of good damage on the Zupals for GR here. A little bit more damage on the chickens in, but now looks like 808's a little bit on the back foot here trying to retake this site. But now IQ does have the firepower. If IQ can make it happen, but No Hands, the barrel of the shotgun holding this angle down, now knows that he's there. Crazen looking for something inside of the smoke. A little bit scary for Zoo Pals. Trying to get in here. Crosshair on their head, but not quite. Shady B able to get that flick on the Zoo Pals here. And now, Chickens is just running him down with a Bulldog. Shady B at 1 HP. A little scary. On the bomb goes the pick. That's not enough time, but I mean, that was really well played by GR there.
I have to say, the harbor smoke was unfortunately a blunder. I wonder if it wasn't communicated that they forced. Having that smoke there gave them literally whatever they wanted that round. That was actually the difference maker, unfortunately. Letting those two people just sit in there and stall out. Shady B, wonderful job just making sure he did not get freaked out over the fact someone was on the bomb, knowing like time's probably going to be up if I just stall it a little longer. That's exactly what they needed to keep this. I hope that we can see some momentum out of Grizzlies to keep this map competitive.
For sure.
But we go into a round with some strange buys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is definitely interesting. It looks like Miko actually bought Auxiliary and Outlaw here. Because they have $0 and no armor and like full util. And no gun. So, I mean, this is definitely interesting because Auxiliary goes down really without much of a hassle to Sandy here. So, I mean, this could be the start of a GR comeback, but I don't want to speak too soon because these players are monsters, even when they have classics.
They sure are. We have seen not 1 but 2 kills out of somebody at 808 with just classic and nothing else.
Sandy looking for the peek here, finds the blind, unable to blind anybody. 3 players. Whoa, and no heads.
Wander does not care. Wander said, I will not be reverse pieing today.
Yeah.
And looking pretty good. This is going to be the struggle round. We've got 4 Vandals and whatever Miko can buy, unfortunately, against 4 Bulldogs and a Stinger. The Bulldog is a decent weapon to combat the full buy. I wouldn't say it's horrible, but this is going to be the difference maker. If they don't get this round, it's going to be a little hard from here.
Yeah, especially on these long angles here, you know, being able to aim in with that headshot potential is going to be really good. But I mean, 808s are technically expected to win this round, so you kind of, if you're 808s, you really have to hope to stop the momentum here. But Grizzlies looking to lurk out on the site here, unaware of Miko just holding a Spectre. But the eye comes down. They know what's happening now. The blind comes down. The TP out. A little scary for Miko, but Auxiliary looking absolutely dominant on these shots here and then gets right out. Unable to earn, wanting to take that fight again, but Auxiliary gets a 3rd one. Are we going to see the ace from Auxiliary getting 4 and then 5? Unable to find the 4th. Shady B gets 2. Being shut down by Chicken Den, and then that's a kill from IQ there on a Crazen, and Crazen almost able to turn it around.
That was almost 2 kills with the Stinger too. He got that headshot dink. If you didn't see that, that honestly could have gone Grizzlies' way with the way that they swung that. But great on 808. I love Eggsy. That was a great round out of him. Exactly what they needed to hopefully close out this map and keep themselves in the game. I mean, we're forgetting here that Grizzlies is the least of our concerns. 808 is up for elimination this map, so the lock-in here is exactly what they want.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you need. You know, they're really trying to stop this Grizzlies momentum that started here, but we're seeing kind of a mixed buy on the side of 808s here. You know, Miko with that shotgun, Zupalos with that Deagle, and the rest of them with regular guns. But now, the Phoenix Ult coming out on the side of Sandy here, really trying to get themselves onto the site here with nobody to contest them. This is a little scary. I wonder exactly what 808's going to do with that Waylay ult coming in here. GRR taking this space pretty easily.
Honestly, don't blame them. I do think that B is the easiest site to retake on this map comparatively. I would want to do the same. Trust your team play. 808 has proven that they are very good team players. And look at all that util they've got.
There's the Waylay ult. Looking for something to take the site back here. The entirety of the game has been shifted around. These players have really not seen each other that much this round. Took the site with no hassle. Now they're retaking the site with no hassle. So much util happening here. Miko's sticking the bomb the whole time. And Auxiliary with an insane 3-piece getting shut down by Crazen, unfortunately, at the end. But that was a crazy. Miko having full trust in that round. A little zany of a situation. Sticking the bomb. Right? I trust my teammates to get those kills, and Auxiliary absolutely delivered, bringing the map to match point, leaning towards 808.
Interestingly enough, I do believe we saw that exact same scenario happen on the other half of the map, I'm pretty sure I commented on Wanderer sticking the bomb in that same scenario and them just getting around. So I'm surprised that that happened to them. But the Waylay ult was available, so I guess I can see why they all went main. We're gonna see what happens at match point here. I hope that they can keep themselves in the game if they don't want to go to a map 3, but
Yeah, but it's looking kind of hard. You know, this KJ coming down,
Placing swamp grenade.
a little bit tough. You know, Lamali's come out trying to clear as much space as possible, but the fade sees was gigantic here on the side of Zupao, trying to just hold this space down. The door comes down on the side of GRR, and now Sandy showing like that they're a menace with this Bucky here. The Needle comes out, unable to find one on the Miko. Yes, they are unable to get the shotgun out. Didn't enough time, but Auxiliary and Chickens in are running this round.
wow.
And that's 13-5 on the side
that
of 808s.
was that was a crazy round. That went very quickly. I will say, what a map out of Auxiliary. That is our GOAT. Wow, that was great way for them to wrap that up. We thought we were gonna see a comeback here, but I mean, look at the scoreboard. We've got 3 of our 808 players up on top, and everybody else following below. Very dominant showing out of 808. I am excited to see what comes in map 3.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, 808 really dominant on Lotus. Lotus being this decider map here to kind of choose who goes in the grand finals in this 1-1 situation. GR, you know, having the knowledge on it, but I want to see how this goes. This could be anything. If I'm not mistaken, Sandy actually plays Chamber on Lotus. So I'm very curious how these two go to heads here, but don't wait, right? We might be taking a 5-minute break here just to give our teams time to settle down after this in very, very, very competitive Valorant game we just saw. And so don't go anywhere. Come back for map 3, and we'll see you all very soon.
Party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love. But we don't have to do it if you don't mind. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? DJ keep playing the music. She throwing it back, she too thick. The way she move, she ruthless. She straight to the point like a toothpick. She asked can we take us a photo, only if I can take you to Ruth Chris. She laughed and said that's funny though, we got a deal if you bring the music. We put our cups in the air like we don't care, like we in the 90s. Stars in the sky, I'm feeling so high. The lights on the screen are just blinding. I don't even care, caressing your hair, enjoying the night cause we vibing. Not worried about tomorrow at all, cause we gonna party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love. But we don't have to do it if you don't mind. Do you really wanna see the sun?
just be tonight. It could just be
Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love, but we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun?
Welcome back, VDC Nation. We are here back in game 3 of an absolutely amazing set between 808s and Grizzlies Apprentice season here. And this is for grand finals. I mean, this game comes down to this decider. I'm joined here by Snoopy as always. And I mean, what do you think? How do you think this is going to go? I mean, I've seen both teams go both ways. I've seen both teams make crazy comebacks. I've seen both teams make crazy plays. Amazing Valorant. I don't know where this is going to go.
I will say the Lotus on paper looks to be in favor of 808. In the regular season, they were 6-2 on Lotus. Grizzlies was 3-2. So that is what should happen. However, I will say, looking at the comps that they are expected to run here, they're strange on both ends. I don't think I can ever say that I've seen what looks to be double Senti for GRR. I don't see that really on Lotus typically. And then for 808, they run a veto, which is interesting to me. We will see kind of if changes have been made. I would assume that at this point in the season, they are kind of counter-stratting a bit, and these comps are a little weird, so I could see something getting changed around here to accommodate for each other. But I think regardless, we're going to have good Valorant. Both teams are positive on the map overall. Both teams look good on the map. It just seems like 808 has a little more experience.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you know, to your point, right? You talked about you haven't really seen the double Sensi. I actually, if I'm not mistaken, when my team played Grizzlies on one of these maps, I'm pretty sure Sandy actually did, in fact, pick Chamber. So I mean, really, it can go any way, right? I mean, anything can happen in these situations. It looks like we're seeing the classic fade raise come out from Grizzlies. Looks like we're seeing a very, very aggressive veto reach neon running it down-esque comp on the side of 808s, but Sandy hovering.
Sandy's messing with me again.
Sandy
I know he's messing with me.
Definitely, they're definitely.
This comp is
us.
different though. I told you the 808. I mean, I would see some adjustments maybe. This comp, they never had a neon on Lotus.
Yeah,
they never ran the double initiator on Lotus. It's a very different comp, and there is my Sandy messing with me. Thanks
there is
a lot.
my Sandy picking Chamber,
and
I mean,
it looks like double smokes. The Viper's very respectable on Lotus. I have seen that a lot. Also, again, not what they typically run. Both teams have changed their comps according to at least the front page of their maps on VDC.
Yes.
In order to seemingly counter-strat, seemingly play better to their strengths. I, looking at this on paper, am probably more in favor of the Grizzly comp over the Neon Breach 808 thing, but if these guys play that right on defense, I can see that being very powerful to shut down any kind of push at all. So
yeah, I definitely agree, but I think probably where comp is going to shine is attack, right? You know, this is the veto
100%.
is explicitly built to shut down the fade raise play on A. The Neon Breach Teo is explicitly built. You know, you can't expect to keep up with the Neon, you know, with the way she's running all over the entire map. So you just, you know, have Breach and Teo blow up the map behind her and make things work out well. So we are going to see defense side for 808s and offense for GRR going into this round 1 of game 3. This is our decider map. So whoever wins this is going into grand finals of the Apprentice playoffs versus the Cinderella run of KC Apprentice. with VK potentially able to win this chip here if one of these teams doesn't put a stop to it.
Should be a very strong match. We've seen. I mean, I know that that was a bit of a slaughter on Summit, but these teams are both so strong. Lotus is going to be hopefully a very competitive map for both teams. From what we saw on Split.
It's a classic map, right? You know, these teams have played it for so long. Sandy, over this early peek here, trying to catch someone out peeking, which they were. Unfortunately, unable to hit that shot there. A classic smoke coming out. These are classic plays here. We're seeing the B come out instantaneously, or the C come out instantaneously. IQ looking for a bit of a play here. Tucking the smoke. They don't check the smoke. But Chicken's in puts pressure on them, and they don't know anything about IQ. But Sandy's a thinker. Sandy's aware of it, while Chicken's in is eating these players for lunch and dinner here. This is an amazing play. Crazen gets the pick on the Zoop house here, looking in the 1v2 situation. The spike is not down. I want to point that out. So Crazen will have to take the site and then plant it and then try and get both these kills. Crazen looking long. Wow. Not quite enough against the high-low.
It just seems like they have, I mean, I guess the one thing that we didn't talk about, Grizzlies does need to remember this Neon is a turbo rotator. That is going to be very, very quick. And then IQ getting in that smoke, honestly, that should have been the difference maker. Yeah. But it didn't even matter because they were just already getting slaughtered by the retake, the insta-flood. Bomb wasn't even down. Crazy round from 808. 808 are coming out swinging.
Yeah, and I do actually want to point out, on the side of 808s, you know, they have that rotations, and like you talked about, but they're really slamming this A here. What we're seeing, while it looks like multiple of them are pushing down the C. But once we have a little bit more money in our bank accounts here on the side of 808s, you know, not only can Neon run across the map in 3.2 nanoseconds, Vito can teleport across the map in that same time. And so really, no matter where you are, you have to deal with a large amount of players being scary here. But Sandy trying to beat that angle, and unfortunately the gun diff is going to be too much. Well, you know, this nade comes down. There's a lot of damage actually on the IQ here, so it's looking a little scary.
The Outlaw is pretty risky these days with the nerf. It's still pretty freaking good, but it is easier to take a lot of damage because you have to sit there a little longer to shoot. So I am not surprised by that. I am surprised with how aggressively the Vito is buying. I mean, I guess he's got a lot less util than a typical Senti would, so making up for it with a Deagle and Outlaw really holding space.
Crazy gets the dink on the Chickens in here, but not enough. Chickens in is going to run these two over. Run these three over,
Chicken is running everybody over. Chicken, I believe they've had different duelists on like every map. Eggsy is on the breach, which is really interesting. I guess that's part of the strategy. We also saw this season Nightbloom enacted that. They switched roles a lot, which does, I mean, honestly, it helps with the ability to kind of be unpredictable. You don't know that Chicken is going to apparently drop threes every single round on Neon.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not ready for it.
Yeah, it's just... And, you know, you talk about playoff comps, and, you know, a lot of the things that you talk about with playoff comps is being unexpected. And unfortunately, Sandy almost got caught out with that Teo TP plus breach stun with the, you know, read on that TP location. That could have been disastrous. I mean, it's very scary, but IQ, other side of the map, ready for these crazy lurks that we've been seeing consistently over and over again for hours today. You know, IQ is seen to make this IQ adjustment here. Very high IQ adjustment. I get it. And, you know, we're seeing these plays can come out here. Actually, on the breach, how much can we get done on a character we haven't seen before? But Nohan strikes back, and Chickens in and Xavier are already there. JDB fights back, but it's too little too late. Chicken's in is able to secure that round with the Bulldog.
We are going to see 808 convert, which is crazy. Look at them go. We have to find a way to get something done here for Grizzlies. I would think that the response is to maybe slow down a little, not look for so much aggressive space. But then again, it is a pistol. They probably should just go barrel roll somewhere.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, you know, we've seen 808 really take the control of the A site here. You know, they're breach stun, neon stun, Teo bomb. You know, they're doing all sorts of things here. And it looks like they just straight up are fighting it back, as opposed to going somewhere like B. But Sandy slimes out IQ here on the C site. That was kind of a round-winning play, but Crazen Fortunately, is unable to find that pick on the chickens in here, but now they know exactly where he is. Breach stun, or the breach flash rather, comes out here with this aftershock, trying to take some more space, and it looks like GRR is trying to make a bit of a rotate here. Maybe take this space, recognizing that Miko is kind of alone here. They've seen Breach, they've seen Neon, they kind of saw Tail, maybe just a little bit, but Miko's going to really have to work hard here. Miko showing they can get some kills here. Sandy unable to find some pick to TP out. Trying to find a way out here. But unfortunately, Miko's able to find that pick on Adobas here as Sandy tries to take over that space. And now it's a 4v3 situation on the side of C as maybe we wait for his teammates to kind of group together here. Breach throwing the flash. All teammates are blinded here. Chicken's in trying to run out here. Miko finds another one on the no-hands here. The Omen Violence, but Shady. B and Sandy strike back, and Miko with the 4K.
Honestly, it looked like Miko was going to die on that take. He repositioned absolutely perfectly, and I don't think they were able to hear him teleport where he teleported to, and he did a great job at understanding he needed to leave and waiting for his team to flood back out, because they do have so much utility to just flood out whenever they want. That is the really big advantage of playing the comp that they're playing. And we are going to see Sandy on the attack op. That is honestly maybe a good solution for all the aggression that's going on here. I am excited to see how this goes. He's going to take another dive at that C. See what happens.
Yeah, they're really going to try and peek this here. I mean, Sandy, not exactly a known opper per se, but definitely has the aim and the game sense to back it up here. So we will be seeing if Sandy can make something happen with this play.
Trap destroyed.
The chokehold coming alive. The blind. All this neutral coming out, but unfortunately the TP gets IQ out of dodge while this tail blows up the C main space here. Unfortunately, didn't quite reach the back of Ben where you'd expect, but Miko taking just a little bit of a chip damage there from that nade, but the aftershock gonna stop that plant while Auxiliary gets one trade on the Sandy. JDB gets to trade out. Chickens and Miko both get theirs on Adobas and Shady B, and now Chickens in trying to retake the site, but I love this TP out of no hands. Taking their time, waiting that Neon ult out, no TPs left on him, but now Krazen finds one, is able to get out. This is an amazing play. No Ends has all the time in the world to just leave the site. The entirety of the map is clear. Krazen has so much space taken. This is an amazing play.
And we are going to see, again, both teams just, hey, we're in a 2v2. Do not leave my side. I love that about both of these teams. Like, again, these maps look a little more slaughtery than they feel because of just how team play oriented both teams are. I think that these are very fair matchups for each other. It's just coming down to who's swinging better, and we see this right now. Are we gonna? Oh, and we are not going to look right in front of us, unfortunately.
Able to spot that gun. Usually a lot of people tend to leave the smoke, you know, with a bit of a corner here, but sees the gun.
Oh.
Situation. Krazen, a very cerebral player. They don't know he's drop. Really good timing. I love this timing from Krazen. This is so smart. Gets the peek. They know, a little jiggle peek here. Suspect off the bottom, but a brilliant play out of Krazen to secure that round.
What Grizzlies needed to do.
And lives too.
And he lives. Brings his life with him.
Yeah, you really need that, especially with the economy on the side of Grizzly. That's something you definitely are on the side. You definitely need that. But now, I'm going to assume Sandy's going to ult here, right? This is kind of expected. Krazen should be able to buy up no hands here when you have a full buy, especially when a team like 808s with their full buy and their amazing gun power with Chickens in running over people this game with a steamroller, really. It's just so fantastic to watch, and we're seeing great Valorant come out.
We sure are.
Attack off.
Here we go with another C-mount fight.
They know it's both, though. I'm not sure if they know it's both. Wow, double TP out. This is a classic Lotus play, but Chicken's in down to like
what happened over here?
I think maybe a spam happened from Krazen, and Krazen, you know, wanted to spam a smoke for sure.
I can see that. I think that Krazen is truly putting out so much value in all of these maps. That's the other part of it. Both teams have proven to have some very, very, very great lurkers that take good pressure and hold on to it. Krazen is doing a great job making sure that this really heavy util dive for Rebel comp is not getting all of the space they wanted, even if they are getting some of it. And as you can see, they're keeping that Neon at 3 health there, even though Crazen is seemingly walking away. Maybe going back.
Crazen is really the MVP right here. I feel like Crazen is able to open up the maps in such a way that we really haven't seen before. But this wall, this timing is
they didn't see.
unbelievable
They
from
didn't
Crazen.
see.
This
Wow.
is unbelievable from Crazen. If Crazen is able to get in this corner, this could be round winning. The toxins
Crazen.
come down. Is Crazen able to find anything?
Check
Looking in
the
the wrong
angle,
spot.
check the
Chicken's in the
angle.
corner. Able to find one. Crazy got shut down by Auxiliary though, but the flash, Auxiliary panics a little bit. The blind comes out, able to get not one, but
Down
just
A.
one.
They gotta get the bomb down.
Stuttering a little bit. This is such an intense situation. Sandy has to plant this bomb as soon as possible. Barely able to plant off with 1.4 seconds on the clock, and now IQ has to make this 1v2 situation. I mean, this is a little scary. Not exactly that much util for IQ to stop with any abilities of any kind, but like, you know, IQ doesn't exactly have much util aside from, you know, one piece of, I believe it's the interceptor. Oh, but the scene,
no,
the
the
wall, that
elbow.
scene. This is so unfortunate. Putting in all the dust. No hands. Tries to beat the angle. It's just a gun that comes out, but the heal,
Wow.
the evolution was able to secure that round. That is really, really, really impactful on the economy here. If you're 808s, you really wanted to win that round, and IQ certainly putting it all to show.
I think if they were going to plant like that, unfortunately, they could not hold like that. It's tough though, because you would want to stick together in a 2v1. That was a very hard decision to make. It's very unfortunate that Sandy's elbow was discovered before they were. Hopefully that they can just take that and on the chin and move on here. They do have quite the deficit to make up for. Chicken is genuinely just running amok this map. It is insane that the 3 HP Neon was able to get another one.
And now we're finally seeing the classic chamber play, where we're gonna be, you know, we're peeking a main as chamber. We don't really care about the util. And we're just gonna TP out of danger as much as we can. And then, you know, that's something we saw from Jag on Meow almost constantly. Whenever Lotus was being played for that team. And so, you know, it's great to see Sandy kind of doing the same idea. But the util from IQ gets spotted out on the B site here. And it looks like they might be pushing for a B angle here. But actually, IQ has lurked up a little bit in the mound here. So if they opt to open the door, it could be scary. Reach doing some util on the B site. But Zoopows finds one onto Sandy here. And unfortunately, now it's a bit of a tough spot, you know, especially with the lack of guns on the side of GRR. It's a little scary.
We are a little
Trying to
back
push
into a
out
corner
Ready
here.
to go. The entry comes out. Molly's come out. All the information happens. No hens. Pushing the smoke. Dobus also up in the smoke in heaven here. The all comes out.
Look at where my
Auxiliary
IQ is.
no hens. The Papa Dobus finds onto Auxiliary, but unfortunately gets shot out by Miko. Miko gets a second while Crazen gets another one. Finds the gun. This is technically winnable here. No spam happened. Not quite. The wall goes down, and Miko gets a third. Miko has been absolutely running amok on this game. And don't forget about Chickenson. Chickenson has been going crazy.
Sure has. Looking at a 4.0 KD at the moment, which is nuts. And we're going to see
And
our
that's what
first
you wanna
time
see.
out of the map from Wanderer here. Completely to be expected. I hope that they have something to discuss here. Truthfully, they're getting a little diffed right now. I don't know what the adjustment really is. I want to say it's just leave A alone. Like, you don't win this fight. Something I've discussed with my own teammates, something I've discussed VOD reviewing other teams. Like, if the A fight isn't for you, you gotta just leave it alone. This team, they'll have it on defense with the Raisinade and the Fade Seas, but they're not able to do anything against all of that util on attack. They need to look at something else.
Yeah.
And they need to make sure they're not getting crunched while they're doing it.
And I think something that, you know, as observers, right, people who aren't actually in the game, it's very easy to take a look at it and say, you know, this isn't working, we should change it. And in the moment, you know, the lights are so bright in the situation, we're in semifinals here of our playoff bracket. And I mean, you know, it's really hard to make these good, concise, practical comms. But in the meanwhile, it looks like they completely hate a Snoopy and they
sure
just
do.
want to fight A again.
But if you look at the map, actually, this is a pretty big brain call because I think
Ooh.
808's assuming that they're going to give up the A fight because of the timeout. But they are going to dive right into this and see if they can take Miko.
You know, this could actually be maybe a situation where Grizzlies is like, you know, maybe we expect it. Maybe this was a big brain play. Maybe it was Grizzlies saying we're so stuck in our ways we haven't realized it yet. And possibly maybe 808s outplayed themselves here.
Ooh,
This Viper ult is interesting
nice
for
Viper
sure.
ult. I like it. It denies flood. They're
Mm-hmm.
really struggling with just getting flooded back on. I think that that's going to be something that 808 is going to have to really devote time into figuring out before they get to site. They can just ignore it, but they're not. If you look at them.
Wow, IQ. The breach ult comes out. Dovas gets stuck. Krazen finds one into auxiliary, but now Krazen stuck in a bit of a situation here. Cannot find it on the Chickenson because Chickenson turns it. Chickenson actually at the 1 HP gets a second onto Sandy, and Miko gets the 2. And I mean,
I cannot
honestly,
believe what we are seeing from Chicken this map. I mean,
Yeah.
he just never has any health, and he's always getting kills.
yeah.
I don't know what to say. Chicken wants this. That's definitely the moral of this map. Chicken is just going crazy. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care that he's 1 health. He's just gonna go do it anyway.
This is, I mean, it's unbelievable. The
It's
way Chicken is
disrespectful.
moving, yeah, the way Chicken is moving, it's like, you know, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, right? And then the moment you show me that, you know, I can give you some respect, then maybe I'll play a little bit slower. Maybe I'll play more refined Valorant. But at the moment, I'm just gonna run it down. He very clearly believes that he's better than every other player on the team, and is just showing that through this gunplay here. Now, meanwhile, Grizzlies is trying to take this C space for once. You know, Trilly throw this down, but IQ
Face your fear.
with the ult coming out. But oh my goodness, Sandy able to
oh.
find it on the IQ. That was an interesting transition on the observer there. If you looked like Vito TP'd into chamber there. As we go out here, the bomb comes down. The 4-person situation on the site here. We're seeing this retake here. Chicken's in, just finds another. Right? Keeps going, keeps on finding these kills, and now Omen gets 5'd out, and No Hens able to get the one on Chickens, and that's kind of a big pick.
That is a very big pick for Grizzlies, who have been dealing with absolute menacery from Chicken.
Crazen is always where he needs to be. Every single time, Crazen is where he needs to be. And gets the
Oh.
3-piece. It is unbelievable. Crazen is always where you don't expect him to be. Always on that lurk. Perfect timings every time. Crazen is
Second round.
definitely going to end up being the MVP of this series.
Second round for Grizzlies, and second round that Crazen is solo taken into his hands and said, I am not letting you guys do this to me again. I would say, regardless of the map outcome, we are seeing a ton of impact from Crazen. I think that Chicken is doing a phenomenal job right now in Lotus, but man, Grizzlies really needs Crazen in this game in particular.
Yes.
Setting Watcher.
Going into this round 10 here, a lot of things happening on A main here. Crazen recognize that the lurk is not exactly gonna net too much control here, especially with the way that they're controlling all the space here. Sandy trying to get something done here. Maybe understood that there could be something in the corner. Doesn't opt to clear it. Peek the angle on the right. Shady B gets the pick on the IQ, and Sandy gets the pick on the Miko. And now Sandy with 30 HP in the tank. Maybe push a little bit aggro here. Oh, cannot find it on the Chickens, but the ult foul from Teo gonna dissuade a lot of people here, but Sandy goes down, and Papa Dobas is only a couple HP, dies to the util, and Chicken's in with this retake here. Amazingly played by Zupals here. With all this util coming down, it's so fantastically seen. Chicken's in with the ults, trying to hold it down, finds one. Crazen, the impact you were talking about is being shown here. Is he able to find one on two? Dope. Oh my god, Chicken's in goes down, but the defense spike is held. Not enough time in to send. I mean,
Unfortunate.
in the round, I mean, it's just so tough.
There's not much you can do when you get shoved out like that. They have, again, just so much retake util. It's impossible to hold a site down. You have to find other ways of getting those people out of the picture before you put the bomb down is really what it feels like right now. If they get the bomb down, it doesn't matter because there's just 9,000 things to get them out of the bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, at this point, if Grizzlies wants to win this game, they need a couple more rounds. And they're gonna have to make something happen. Crazy with the, you know, an actual full buy here because of what happened last time. But Shady B goes down, and Zupals would have found on the Dobas here. This is looking so tough. The 808s was perfectly able to read what Grizzlies is gonna do and push down that mid. It's a fantastic play. Both teams on a little bit of a lower buy, I do want to point out here, but Sandy fires back, able to get a couple. Able to get one there, and now we see Crazen in a 1v4 situation. Crazen has a lot of impact, but will we see the 1v4? A lot of damage on Zupals here. But now they know where he is, and the spike is down. a little scary if you're Crazy in here, but you know, we do have enough money to buy next round, even if Crazy goes down with a fight here. So maybe we're gonna see how that works out here. The door stays open. Using our discipline, spots chickens in. Goes for the flick, finds it. Cannot find a second on chickens in with the slide. It's just so hard to hit.
I am confused on how both of these teams were just on a low buy. What the heck happened to the money? How does 808 not have money?
You know, 808 full buy, and then was able to barely secure that round off of Zubao sticking that bomb there, and then dying even after it all. But you know, Krazen having the save from the previous round was making it to happen. It's so scary, and I mean, Krazen's doing fantastic, but Chicken's doing even better to really counteract this amazing play, and it is very, very scary. They need to win this round if you're Grizzlies. He does something happen. The off shot comes out, missed. Unfortunately, the bomb goes down. Chickens in gets 2, and Zubos finds it onto Sandy with the great team play out there, and Auxiliary finds the spam. And at this point, it's probably going to end up 10 and 2.
10-2 on the half.
It just happens. Wow.
That was quick. I hope to see more fight out of Grizzlies on the defender's side. I will say that I have personally turned a 2-11 on this map into a win. It is doable. Anything is possible. But it does hurt. It's hard. You have to have a lot of resilience, and I am really nervous for Grizzlies here. 2-11, 3-12. Krazen is one Titan, but he is nothing compared to the 4.0 KD that Chickens in is holding right now, and I'm really, really hoping that we start to see some turnaround
of it.
If we want this to be competitive. Great job on 808's end, but this is a crazy way to end a map 3.
I mean, I just want to point out the way Nohens and Dobus are moving is a stark contrast to how they were doing before. So maybe if we see some signs of life out of them, they can get some momentum back to bring us to before. But I have actually seen a 10-2 comeback on stream with me commentating an FV expert, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, you know, it can happen on this map. I've seen it done. It's gonna be hard. Krazen takes it through the smoke with a right click. That is just unlucky.
Planted.
Looks like Sandy is being very loud about this flank, but
IQ has no headset on.
Doesn't care.
And unfortunately, that just didn't go his way. But Sandy gets a lot of damage here. This is a very, very important round, and Grizzlies kind of has to win this. Krazen able to find it. Sandy in a 1v3 situation. Unable to find it. This is 11-2.
This is so tough to watch.
For sure.
They're gonna force here. If they're anything like Inferno Apprentice match day 3, they will make a very strong comeback from here and not drop around.
Sure.
808 though, proven dominant all season long. Honestly, a little bit of an underdog, even though they were the top seed, just because, I mean, their playstyle is so unique. A lot of people doubt them, I think. I don't think that people come in thinking 808 was going to win this bracket, but they are looking so strong. They want it so bad right now.
I do want to point out 808 is the first seed. So, I mean, in a sense, there was a little bit of an expectation they were going to win the bracket. But also, I mean, you know, so many of these teams are so dominant. It's just so hard to get a read on anything. But unfortunately, Chickens is continuing his absolute tear of running it down. All the util coming out. Shady be able to find one, but it's trying to be some damage control here as IQ is unfortunately able to find Krazen out with the unfortunate timing here. And now, no one's in a 1v4 situation. Chicken's gonna just run him down,
Chicken
holding the W
wants
key.
this too bad for anything that Grizzlies
Chickenson has
could
a
do.
5.0 KD, by the way.
This is crazy. We're competing with the auxiliary numbers from their last series, the 30 and 9 that I was talking about. 25 and 5 is freaking insane, and we're on match point. The buy is wonky as can be. It's gonna take a miracle from here. It's looking like we are going to see 808 duke it out with our bottom seed. 1v10 in the grand finals, unless Grizzlies can make something happen here.
Now that's a match. That's a match. But as we see the A fight happens here, we just continue to hit A. It is Lotus after all, but Shady B in this cubby here, unfortunately gets spotted out. All that util blowing them up is just so hard to deal with. Now Sandy in tree with a shotgun here. Miko trying to TP on the side, gets spotted by the Rays util here. Unfortunately, he picks off Dobus here. Now on 30 HP, opting to send it towards B. No one gets caught out. Blind.
Wow.
And Auxiliary is able to find that headshot onto him, and now it's a 2v5 situation. IQ Sandy turns it and puts him down, but now I wonder how little too late it is with all these things going on now. I mean, what can Sandy even do here? Baits out that good play here, good knowledge from Crazen, trying to find some damage with the Stinger. There's a lot of damage, but unfortunately the Aftershock is able to take it, and that's going to be an 808 win, bringing them to Grand Finals. Like you said, 1 versus 10. If there was ever a team that KC wanted to beat in their Cinderella run, to call it a real Cinderella run and really feel like they did it, they already took down the 2 seed, they already took down the 6 seed. If they can take the 1 down 2, there's just no doubt in their minds they could have this win, and that would be the setup. Really, that's the story, you know?
I can tell you right now that it is going to be an absolutely diabolical BO5. 808 is looking phenomenal. Like I said, they've really matured as a team. I would have compared them to a run it down ranker style team. This series proved that they have put the work in. They are more than ready. My goat Auxiliary is looking phenomenal. And Chicken's in. I mean, anybody can top frag on that team. They are looking primed up, and Casey is going to be
right?
Absolutely looking to kill him. Casey also, again, I have said this so many times, playing like teams that we have never seen before out of both of them. Casey is looking completely different. So that grand final that we are about to witness next week is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm excited for it. 1v10 is definitely not what anybody's bracket had to say. Frick all of you guys for ruining my bracket, by the way. Shout out, a Snoopy bracket is completely wonked up.
Yep.
But great showing tonight from both teams. Great out of 808. Super, super dominant map 2 and 3. Congratulations to them, and looking to close this out. Any final thoughts? Tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we both kind of went into it expressing a bit of a Sandy fan mentality, but I gotta say, Chickens and won us over at the end. That was a 5.0, and maybe even above.
That was awesome.
KD, amazing play from 808, amazing team play. I love the way they were kind of sending Chickens in, kind of as a way to run them down with all this util behind him, and the util was perfectly coordinated. They were blowing up Sandy for peeking A main, you know, TPing back, and they just blow him up with the util, and it was amazing plays from them. If there's anything I gotta say, it's good luck to 808s, and it's good luck to KC in the grand finals coming up at some point soon here.
Well, this has been a wonderful time casting. Thank you, Tricky, for doing it along with me. We will hopefully see you guys soon here to close out our Apprentice bracket. I hope you all have a great night, and thank you so much.
Party to the sun. See you vibing with me, I just wanna see what's up. We just started dancing and I think I fell in love. We won't get this moment back, so please lift up my cup. Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? Do you really wanna see the sun? I see you vibing with me, so what's up? We just started dancing, fell in love. But we don't have to do it if you don't want. Do you really wanna see the sun? Do you wanna see the sun and have some fun? DJ keep playing the music, she throwing it back, she too thick. The way she move, she ruthless.